recent additions from Roberts' bunch. Here comes McLarty with the who leads the Cape League with a 400 batting average. Also has the most hits on the Cape with 24. Here comes the first pitch from McLarty outside, ball one. Shenton, the third baseman out of FIU, Florida International University. 1-0 the count. Here comes McLarty's pitch. And again, pinned on the outside corner, this time strike one. The called strike by home plate umpire John DiGiuliano. Mike Collier at third, Rick Antonio at first. That's our umpiring crew today in the powder blue shirts. Here's the 1-1. Breaking pitch breaks too far inside, and the count runs to 2 balls, 1 strike. A beautiful day for baseball here at Lowell Park. Nothing but blue skies overhead. As McLarty sets for the 2-1, it's in there, it's a bit outside for ball 3. Top of the first, 0-0 the score, Wareham and Cotuit. A West Division battle, the second time this season between these two sides. McLarty kicks and fires. The 3-1 is fouled off to the left side, and the count runs full. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Straight up infield and outfield for the Kettleers. And McLarty out of the windup looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Here's the pitch, swung on and poked into right field. A base hit for Austin Shenton. He's aboard with 2 outs in the first.
Good piece of hitting by Shenton there, just out in front of the pitch, and finds the gap on the right side, extending the inning for Wareham. And this has been one of the trickier points of the season for Cotuit's pitchers with 2 outs. A lot of 2-out rallies have been compiled on the Kettleers so far this year. Hopefully Griffin McLarty can get out of it quickly.
So McLarty now will face the cleanup hitter in Lyle Lockhart Jr., first baseman out of Houston, stroking at .226 this year. Shenton, as he so often is, aboard at first base. And strike one comes into Lockhart Jr., a lefty who took about a quarter swing, but it was a fastball in there for strike one. Lockhart Jr. out of the University of Houston, 6'3", 215, a rising junior, as McLarty checks on the runner with a throw to first. Lockhart Jr., a two-way player at Houston. He had a .297 batting average, but a 6.64 ERA this past season for the Cougs. Here's the 0-1, hooks outside, ball one. Again, the Kettleers coming off their first tie of the season, a 2-2 tie in 12 innings last night against the Commodores. Gatemen coming on a 2-game skid. 1-1 the count. McLarty sets out of the stretch. He kicks and deals. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. He fooled Lockhart Jr., and now a 1-2 count. The Gatemen are led by second-year head coach Don Sneddon. We'll have more on him later in the 5th with our trivia question, so stay tuned for that. McLarty with the 1-2 count, 2 outs. Pickoff attempt to first. He's back in time. That's Austin Shenton. Cotuit, of course, led by Mike Roberts. He's in his 15th season. And now the lefty Lockhart Jr. steps back in, points his bat towards right field, and McLarty comes set. He kicks and fires the 1-2, swung on and chopped right to the first baseman. Tolia nonchalantly steps on the bag for out number 3. So a single from Austin Shenton, but no worries for Griffin McLarty. Still no score through a half inning here at Lowell Park. We'll be right back here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Welcome back into Lowell Park. The Kettleers and the Gatemen doing battle here on July 3rd. And here comes Joey Matulovic, the righty for the Gatemen. He's the starting pitcher for Wareham tonight. Again, a 1-0 record, 0.50 ERA, 17 strikeouts, just 5 walks. He's out of Cal, and he's been dynamite for Wareham this season. His last start a few days ago against Chatham, he went 5 innings, no earned runs, 6 strikeouts, and just 3 hits. And he'll face a Kettleer offense that needs to get the bats going, as Mike Roberts said. He said to look for them to be aggressive in this game. We asked him what the solution is to some offensive woes. He said swing, swing, swing. I think he said a few more swings than just that. So let's see if this Kettleer offense is up and swinging right off the bat. Will Robertson, the right fielder out of Creighton, leads things off. Matulovic's first pitch. In there, a fastball for strike 1. Here's the Kettleer lineup. Will Robertson leads things off in right field. At second, back in the lineup at the DH spot is Thomas Dillard. Batting third is the center fielder Bo Brundage. As the 0-1 comes in and it's ricocheted foul, a quick 0-2 count. Brady Smith, the cleanup hitter at catcher. Jacob Goldfarb bats fifth in left. Corey Wood, the second baseman, bats sixth. Michael Tolia is at first. He's in the 7-hole. In the 8-hole, Ryan Reynolds, the third baseman. Here's the 0-2 to Robertson, swung on, skied high in the infield. Over to the second baseman, Sahid Valenzuela. He makes the two-handed catch. That's 1 out. Rounding out the Kettleer lineup is Adam Oviedo, batting 9th. He is at shortstop. Again, Robertson, Dillard, Brundage, Smith, Goldfarb, Wood, Tolia, Reynolds, Oviedo. That's the Kettleer lineup for head coach Mike Roberts. And now welcome back into the lineup, Thomas Dillard. DH today, out of Ole Miss, switch hitter. He's lefty against the righty Matulovic. And the first pitch runs too far inside for ball 1. Thomas back in the lineup after missing a couple games because of the college home run derby over in Omaha, Nebraska. He hit 33 home runs in 2 rounds as he sends one back foul, 1-1 the count. He was the only Ole Miss Rebel ever to make it past the first round in the home run derby, so making some nice school history. He was wearing a sharp throwback Ole Miss powder blue uniform. Thought it looked really good. As the 1-1 comes into Dillard, he chops it foul down the first base line.
Those unis are renowned as some of the best in college baseball. Ole Miss has been going with those the past couple of years, and certainly a great look, especially after a season in which they won the SEC tournament down in Hoover. Thomas Dillard, a big part of that, and had a nice little trip, I hope, down in Omaha with his home run derby experience.
He said he tweeted out he made some nice lifelong friends with the other participants. Logan Davidson was the runner-up out of Clemson. He's a Falmouth Commodore. And then Nick Reddy out of Air Force was the winner. 1-2 count to Thomas Dillard. Matulovic kicks and deals, and it's fouled straight back. Still a 1-2 count. One other participant from the Cape League was actually a Wareham player, Parker Phillips out of Austin P. So it's a 1-2 count, 1 out for Dillard, no one on. Here's the pitch, swung on, a little flare foul on the third base side, a 1-2 count. The battery mate for Joey Matulovic is Gian Martellini out of Boston College, a former Cotuit Kettleer. So he played here in Lowell Park last year. Now he's back as a member of the Gatemen. Matulovic steps back, kicks and deals, swung on, fouled straight back as the ball pops off the piping on the backstop right in front of us. It's a 1-2 count. Behind Matulovic, the defense looks like this. Austin Shenton at third. Kreidler is the shortstop. Sahid Valenzuela, the second baseman. Lyle Lockhart Jr., the first baseman. Jeremy Idens in left. Skylar Hunter in center. And Drew Millis, who's usually a catcher, he gets the start in right. Here's the 1-2 to Thomas Dillard. Fastball outside at 92, called for ball 2. Wareham's pitching has not been its strength suit this season. As I said, one of the best offenses in the Cape. As the 2-2 comes in, swung on, and a fly ball foul down the right field line. Good wood from Dillard as he fights in this at-bat. The Gatemen lead the league in runs, but their 4.13 staff ERA is 8th in the league. Cotuit on the flip side, 3.30 is the staff ERA. That's 3rd on the Cape. We saw some good bullpen pitching last night. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Matulovic gets Dillard down. That's 2 outs.
Even if it ended with a strikeout, that was a good fight by Thomas Dillard at the plate in his first at-bat in a couple of days in Cape League action. Lots of foul balls, and that's what you want to do early in the game against your opposing team starter. Get that pitch count up early, and eventually that'll come back and pay off.
Here's Bo Brundage now, a guy who's been swinging a hot bat as of late. First pitch comes in, high at the letters, ball one. How about Bo Brundage as of late? Walk-off home run last time around at Lowell Park. That was an 11-inning game against Chatham. Solo shot from Brundage sent the fans home happy as he fights the second pitch off foul. He's been a really hot hitter for the Kettleers, just under a 300 batting average, 8 RBIs, and he solidified himself as a starter in a very deep Kettleer outfield. The 1-1 outside, ball two. Bo Brundage certainly has come on strong this year.
He really has. Temporary player who's been fighting his way on this squad. He's become one of the most consistent hitters.
Now he sends a high fly ball into right field. It's playable for Drew Millis, reaches up and makes the snag. A 1-2-3 inning for Joey Matulovic, and we've got no score here at Lowell Park entering the top of the second here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back here in Cotuit, no score through an inning of play between the Gatemen and the Kettleers here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Sam and Sam on the call for you this lovely afternoon here in Cotuit. And Griffin McLarty back on the bump to work this inning. He'll face Paven Parks, Drew Millis, Ryan Kreidler in a scoreless tie here in the second. Paven Parks out of Kent State University, the DH today for Don Snedden's bunch. He stands at 6'1", 200 pounds, a rising senior from Uniontown, Ohio.
Little Maction right here. Kent State.
Tuesday night Maction. First pitch to him, in there for strike one. Isn't that when Mac football's on ESPN?
Tuesday nights, and then they expanded it to Tuesday and Wednesdays,
right.
And then I think some of it later in the season you get some Thursday games.
There comes McLarty with his 0-1 delivery. It's outside for ball one.
Always loved Desmond Howard from Michigan calling those games. He usually does the Wednesday games.
Here's the 1-1 to the Mac product in Paven Parks. It's low for ball two. Not too many Mac players on the Cape. I think we've seen a couple this season. I know you're a big Northern Illinois guy.
Mm-hmm.
As the 2-1 comes in, it's a grounder tapped foul. I think it might have hit part of the lower body of Paven Parks. He's a little gimpy as he takes a nice stroll around home plate, but he'll dig back in for the 2-2.
Well, of course, John Baker out of Ball State.
Right.
Action repping here in
one of our
Cotuit.
best arms.
Absolutely. He has had a phenomenal summer, and you hope that we can see him at least another quality start and keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. He's been stringing them together every single time he takes the mound.
No score here in the second, a 2-2 count to Paven Parks. The pitch from McLarty, chopped foul. It just nestles right on top of the Wareham dugout. And the count stays pat. 4th of July weekend. Great crowd on hand in Cotuit, the third base grandstand chock full of fans. They're a little more in the shade, so more fans there than the first base side. The 2-2 skied high in the outfield on the left side. It's the shortstop Oviedo who will make the play in shallow left field. He makes the catch for out number 1. Hot day here in Cotuit, about 85 degrees, no clouds. Kind of an Americana feel here at Loa Park. You've got the pleated American flags decorating the outfield fence. You've got 2 good-looking American flags held on by some bricks on top of the Cotuit dugout. Tomorrow should be fun, 4th of July. The parade wraps up here at Loa Park. We'll have the hitting contest as the first pitch into Drew Millis hits the outside corner, strike 1. Coach Mike Roberts will be the starting pitcher, I hear, for the hitting contest.
He's got a good arm. He can really zip it in there during BP. I wonder if he'll ease up on these contestants.
There's the 0-1 to Millis. Ground ball right to Oviedo. He inhales it, throws to first to Tolia in time for a quick out number 2.
Good job by Griffin McLarty starting out this game strong, only allowing 1 hit so far through 6 batters faced, and now he gets into the Wareham bottom of the order, and this is where it's key for Griffin. Get the outs that are going to be given to you when you're facing some of the weaker hitters in your opponent's order.
Last time out for McLarty was the 6-5 win last week against Bourne. 3 2/3, 4 earned runs, and a strikeout. Here comes the first pitch to Ryan Kreidler. He sends it off foul on the first base side, where his college teammate Michael Tolia is over at first base. Kreidler, UCLA Bruin, 241 average this season, 7 runs batted in. He digs in. Here comes the pitch from McLarty. Swung on, a sharp ground ball past a diving Oviedo and into center field. Another 2-out base hit for the Gatemen and a man aboard here in the top of the second.
I thought Ovi might have a chance for that one. Good diving effort. He just couldn't pinpoint the glove to the ball. That one kind of skipped under his forearm there, almost overdove the ball as it goes into center for a base knock. Ryan Kreidler once again following suit with Austin Shenton, each of them with a pair of 2-outs base hits in the first or second inning. And now McLarty will try and work around it once more.
So man on first. We're in the top of the second if you're just joining us. Welcome on in. No score between Cotuit and Wareham. Now here's Gian Martellini, a former Cotuit Kettleer who digs in and takes a first pitch ball. Martellini, a rising senior at Boston College, starting catcher for Wareham today. Last year here in Cotuit, he played in 29 games, had 3 home runs, 16 RBIs, 17 hits. Very solid catcher for Mike Roberts, as the 1-0 is tattooed out into left field, but playable for the left fielder Goldfarb. He makes the catch at his shoulders for out number 3. So another 2-out hit for the Gatekeepers, but no problem for Griffin McLarty. Still no score entering the home half of the second here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back at it from Loa Park, bottom of the second between the Kettleers and the Gatemen. Joey Matulovic, the Cal Golden Bear, back on to work the second. He threw a perfect 1-2-3 inning back in the first, and now he'll face Brady Smith, Jacob Goldfarb, and Corey Wood. And fans, we've got a treat for you coming in the 4th inning. ESPN Patriots reporter Mike Reese, who's the son of our wonderful PA announcer Roy Reese here at Loa Park, He's on hand for the game. I guess he has the week off. Not much action in the NFL this week, so he'll join us in the broadcast booth in the 4th inning for a nice conversation. We'll talk all things Patriots, Cape League, whatever he wants to discuss.
Whatever comes up, it'll be an
Exactly.
adventure. Really looking forward to having Mike in the booth.
It'll be a lot of fun. He's certainly an expert, an encyclopedia on the Patriots as Brady Smith takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner. Strike one to the Florida Gator in Smith, starting at catcher for the first time this season for the Kettleers. His first game was yesterday at DH as he takes the 0-1 low. It's ball one. He was 2 for 3 yesterday, a single and a double. He looked really good offensively.
Brady Smith looked like a hustler out there yesterday, a grinder kind of player, the exact kind of thing the Kettleers need. Impressive indeed.
Here's the 1-1. It's outside, ball 2.
Here's a guy that came in. He had 264 at Florida. That's a pretty good mark in SEC play. Contact kind of hitter, utility dude who can play multiple positions defensively, and he can catch.
2-1. Pinned on the outside corner, strike 2, a big strike zone today, certainly.
Yeah, you see him take there just a little bit off the plate. But this is a guy that's going to hit for contact and also has a little bit of pop. Strong bat.
Here's the 2-2 to Smith. He takes it smartly, was way outside and low, and the count runs full. Brady Smith out of Florida. By way of Niceville, Florida, we discussed last night on the broadcast. Niceville. You've been near those parts, I think.
I've driven through it.
Here's the payoff pitch. Fought off foul, and the count stays at 3-2. Smith has played a lot at catcher, a lot at first base in his time with the Gators. A 264 average last season, 2 home runs, and a nice start to his summer of 2018 with the Kettleers. Payoff pitch coming from Matulovic. Here it is. Half swing. Appeal to the first base umpire, Rick Antonio. He did not go around. Ball 4, and the leadoff runner aboard via a free pass.
Good way to start for Brady Smith. He held up just at the last second for Brady to not go around, despite the appeal from Martellini behind the plate. And a leadoff walk is always a perfect opportunity for your offense to bring that run around to score.
So Smith takes his lead. Now here's Jacob Goldfarb sporting what looks like a new bright red bat. Looks very smooth with his bright red Franklin batting gloves. Is that a new bat? I think he usually
That
has
is a
black one.
brand new bat for Goldie. Red is a fire hydrant out there.
Second pitch on the 1-0 is fouled off with a pop-up straight back. Hits the intern tent to our left, and the count stays at 1-1 with Brady Smith over at first. Joey Matulovic on the mound. He has certainly been the ace this season that the Gatemen need. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, a slow chopping grounder through the first baseman's hands right to Sahid Valenzuela. He fires to Matulovic in time for the out. Nice job by Matulovic covering some ground, but still a productive out as Brady Smith moves over to second.
Almost thought that ball would sneak through the right side of the infield there. Valenzuela able to just get it to Matulovic, who covered in time. It was a bang-bang play at the bag. Obviously, Goldfarb with great speed down the line. Just couldn't beat him out for the call, though, but a good job to hit it and advance the runner.
Here's Corey Wood now with Smith at second. 1 out, no score, bottom 2 here at Lowell Park. Matulovic comes set, looks back at Brady Smith. Here's the pitch. Way inside for ball 1. So Matulovic out of Cal. He's a rising senior. Last year he played for Wareham. 5 starts, a 2.38 ERA, 26 strikeouts, just 4 walks. He was a temp player, so they ended up having to let him go, but he showed some flashes of excellence, and now back this season as a permanent player. The 1-0, swing and a miss from Corey Wood, and now the count 1-1 with 1 out. Matulovic was a draft pick in the 20th round of the Milwaukee Brewers this past draft. Conversation with the Wareham broadcasters before the game, they thought this might be his last start before he goes off into the Brewers system. Here's the 1-1. Outside, but hits the corner, and it's strike 2. Corey Wood, 10 walks on the season, always known to work an 0-2 count, a 1-2 count, all the way back around to a walk. As Brady Smith takes a large lead at second, Matulovic comes set Ball in his tan glove. Now here's the pitch. Swung on, ripped to right, but right to the right fielder, Millis. He makes the easy catch. Hardly had to move an inch, and that's 2 outs.
I hit it right at him, and Millis was able to just sort of extend his arm up to make the catch. Didn't have to backtrack. A hard hit ball from Corey there, just unfortunately right at the defender.
Here's Michael Tolia now, batting in the 7th spot. Tolia takes some deep stretches before he steps into the batter's box. Going lefty, the switch hitter against the righty Matulovic. Big number 20, Big Mike digs in. With a runner on second, 2 outs, a scoreless tie. First pitch in there, strike 1. Remember, fans, stay tuned for the 4th inning. Mike Reese, ESPN Patriots reporter, will be joining us for a conversation up here in the booth. Especially if you're a Patriots fan, you won't want to miss it. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch out of the stretch. It's low, and it skips past the catcher Martellini. Brady Smith strides easily into third, and now a runner 90 feet from home for the Kets.
Good job by Brady Smith being aware on his horse, get up that 90 feet. Now you've got a runner on third. It's still 2 outs in the inning, but that forces the Gatemen to make a play, and Tolia, always a contact hitter, knows how to get the ball to the bat, and it looks like an injured player perhaps for Wareham.
Martellini might have had the ball hit some part of his hand or maybe his face. 3 of the Wareham athletic trainers onto the field to take a look at Martellini, who's got his catcher's mask off right now. So we'll have a quick pause in the action. 2nd inning. It's 1-1 with 2 outs. Michael Tolia at the dish. Martellini getting looked at with an injury. And fans, I'll take this moment to remind you that what is donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your family, friends, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive over at capecodhealth.org/blood center. So Martellini, the former Kettleer, still getting a look at from the 3 Wareham athletic trainers. I mentioned earlier that Wareham is led by Don Sneddon. He's in his 2nd season with the Gatemen. He was previously an assistant in his 1st season down in Wareham. Before that, he was the head coach for 32 years at Santa Ana Community College in California from 1982 to 2014. Looks like Martellini's okay as the trainers head back to the dugout. He puts on his Boston College Golden Eagles catcher's mask and settles back in. Sneddon was the winningest coach in California Community College history. How about this? Over 1,000 wins in his career. 1,072. 2nd place with just over 800.
That's some Coach K, Bobby Knight territory with all those years under your belt.
The 1-1 cracked a fly ball on the left side. Coming over is Idens in foul territory. He makes the grab for out number 3. So the Kettleers get a base runner in the leadoff spot with Brady Smith, but can't do much with it, and we still have no score through 2. Here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network, it's the Kettleers and the Gatemen. We'll be right back.
Top of the third inning here at Lowell Park, a scoreless ball game between Cotuit and Wareham. Griffin McLarty, the right-hander, will be on the mound for his third inning of work. He only allowed 2 hits to the first Wareham Gatemen batters that he saw. Through his first 2 frames, he faces 9, 1, and 2 in this inning. Skylar Hunter, Jeremy Idens, and then Sahid Valenzuela all due up for Wareham. McLarty, the right-hander, on the mound. It's Skylar Hunter, the center fielder, batting from the left side, who will begin the inning. First pitch from Griffin is up and away with an 85-mile-an-hour fastball for ball 1. Kettleers infield, Ryan Reynolds playing in on the grass. A little more shallow as the second pitch from Hunter is chopped towards Corey Wood at second base. He'll take it on a bounce and throw to Tolia at first, and the leadoff man retired here in the third. Griffin McLarty has done a nice job today. That's the 5th ground ball out that he's forced against 9 Gatemen batters. And he retires the leadoff man for the 3rd consecutive time out of the gate today. And he'll be facing the top of the order once more. It's Jeremy Idens, the left fielder from UCLA, who steps in.
Out of the gate.
And the Gateman, that was subconscious right there. First pitch to Idens, lifted in the air to right center field. Robertson running back on it. He won't get to it. It's over his head and down for a double. Idens will coast into second. First pitch, 1-out double for Jeremy Idens, and Wareham with a runner in scoring position here in the top of the third.
So Wareham has now had a nice little hit in each inning. Fortunately for Cotuit, they've all been with 2 outs, little singles, and McLarty's been able to get out of the inning. This time not only with 1 out, but a really good part of the lineup coming up. The 2 best hitters coming up, in fact, for Wareham and Sahid Valenzuela and Austin Shenton, of course, the best hitter on the Cape so far this season. So McLarty has to be very careful here and trust his spots.
Sahid Valenzuela batting from the left side, clutching his bat as McLarty comes set out of the stretch. The leg lift and first pitch is a fastball caught outside for ball number 1. Idens with the 1-out double. He's on second base. No score here in the top of the third. Griffin McLarty staring down Sahid Valenzuela in the batter's box, working with Brady Smith, the Florida Gator, behind the plate. 1-0 from Griffin is tailed straight back into the fence behind home plate. Strike 1. Beautiful day at Lowell Park. Clear blue skies overhead. It is a little hot, sunny, about 80 degrees, but a packed crowd on hand on the third base grandstand and a lot on the first base side as well. Bumping atmosphere on this 4th of July week. 1-1 count to Valenzuela. Here's McLarty's pitch, tailed into left field. That ball drops in front of Goldfarb for a base knock. Putting on the brakes around third is Idens. He'll stay there. It's a single for Sahid Valenzuela, and Wareham with runners on the corners and still 1 out in the third.
Really nice hit from Valenzuela. He's come on really strong for the Gatemen. Almost a 400 batting average through his first few games. And that time a nice little rip, Oppo Field. A pitch that was in near the hands, and now Austin Shenton looking to bring some runs home.
Before Shenton digs in, it's Brady Smith, the Cotuit catcher, who comes out from behind home plate to signal to his infield. First time we've seen him do that today. That's something that pitching coach and catching coach Jerry Weinstein instructs these catchers on what to do, signaling through the chest plate. First pitch to Shenton is outside once again from McLarty, who's missing off the plate pretty consistently in this frame, 1-0.
Smith must be a quick learner.
He must be. He gets the call at catcher just only a couple days after arriving on the Cape. He was the DH in his debut last night. Shenton batting from the left side. McLarty out of the stretch, the 1-0 pitch. He misses away off the plate again. 2 balls and no strikes. Idens with the 1-out double. He moves up to third base after Valenzuela's 1-out single. Runners on first and third for Wareham in the top of the third. Still a 0-0 game. McLarty looks in, his 2-0. Grounded through the right side and into right field for a base knock. Austin Shenton delivers as Robertson has trouble with it in right. He can't pick it up with the bare hand. That allows Valenzuela to go up to third. The run comes home to score in Idens, and Wareham takes the lead here in the third, 1-0.
Man, that's just Wareham's 3 best hitters combining for 3 hits in a row and plating a run. It's just simple as that. Idens, Valenzuela, and Shenton all batting over .320 on the season, and there they deliver with 3 really nice hits. That time, nothing special from Shenton, but just finding the right spot. Just a little ground ball in the gap because the runner was held on by Tolia, so there was a nice juicy gap for him to pull into, and he took advantage.
So after McLarty retired the leadoff man in Hunter, who is the 9 batter, the top of the order strings together 3 consecutive hits to score a run. Runners on first and third still with 1 out. Infield playing in as Lyle Lockhart comes to the plate. Kettleers will send everybody in on the edge of the grass to try and prevent the run from coming from third base in Valenzuela. 1-0 the count on Lockhart, another left-handed batter. McLarty comes set at the belt, kicks and deals. This one chopped right at Corey Wood. He thought about coming home, turns to second instead for 1. Oviedo's throw to first not in time as Lockhart beats out the throw. A second run will come home to score in Valenzuela, and the Gatemen tack on another 2-0 here with 2 outs in the third.
A really interesting play there. Corey Wood, with that hesitation to go home, had he not done that, the 4-6-3 double play would have been converted with Oviedo having time to get the throw to first. But because of that little hesitation, it allows the run to come home, unfortunately, for Cotuit. But now still 2 outs, so it's not all negative on that play.
So Lockhart reaches on the fielder's choice. Zip over to first from McLarty to check on Lockhart, who dives back in safely. 2 outs in the top of the third inning. 2-0 in favor of the Wareham Gatemen on the road at Lowell Park. It's Pavin Parks, the designated hitter, who's the new batter. First pitch from McLarty. Fastball that gets the outside corner for strike 1. Austin Shenton with the RBI double, or excuse me, the RBI single to play Idens, and then the fielder's choice scores Valenzuela. McLarty at the belt, and now to the plate with the 0-1. Misses with a slider outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. It's Pavin Parks at the plate, who's adjusting his batting gloves. DH out of Kent State. Taps his bat a couple of times and now resets in the batter's box. 2-0 Wareham in the top of the third, and McLarty will check once again on the runner at first. 5 hits already for the Gatemen as they string together 3 consecutive ones, and then 4 batters reaching base in succession in the form of Lockhart, who got on the fielder's choice. There's a strike on the upper part of the zone with McLarty, a fastball there. He gets ahead in the count 1-2 on Parks. Sun beating down at Lowell Park. No breeze whatsoever. It is a toaster in here as the fans on the third base side, the smart ones with their sunglasses and caps, they're in the shade for the most part. McLarty, another hard throw over to first where Tolia catches it. However, Lockhart able to slide back in okay. Michael Tolia playing first base for the first time this season for the Kettleers. He's DH'd. He's also played out in right field. He gets the call today for Zach Bierman, who's on the bench getting an off day. 1-2 from McLarty. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Parks, and that'll get him out of the third inning. But the Gatemen come up big. 2 runs on 3 hits and a man left as it's 2-0 Wareham here in the middle of the third. Kettleers come to the plate and try and get it back. When we return, you're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Then Will Robertson due up in this order, as it's Joey Matulovic who deals in a first pitch strike, a swing and a miss from Reynolds there on a 90-mile-an-hour heater. Matulovic going through his 2 first frames, only allowing 1 walk to Brady Smith. There's another big cut and a miss from Reynolds. Can't catch up to the fastball, 0-2. Ryan had a fantastic defensive play last night in the 12-inning tie against Falmouth. He's at the plate here and looks at strike 3 on the outside corner. Matulovic hammering it there on the outside at 95, 3 pitches and a strikeout, and he retires the Kettleers leadoff man in the bottom of 3.
Yeah, Matulovic is really firing it in there. You hear the pop of the mitt, you see the radar gun. This guy's got the stuff. No wonder he might head off in a few days to go in Milwaukee's system.
Here's Adam Oviedo with 1 out and nobody on. Takes a fastball down the heart of the plate for strike 1. Matulovic, 4 pitches and 4 strikes to start out this inning. Here's Ovi, who got the night off last night. Mike Salvatore started at short. 0-1 to him is a slider that sweeps down and away for ball 1. 2-0 Wareham Gatemen. They put up a 2 spot in the top of the 3rd inning. Shenton's RBI single and then an RBI fielder's choice from Lockhart. Fastball misses badly on the outer half of the batter's box. 2-1 the count on Oviedo. Will Robertson the man on deck for the Kettleers. Top of the order will get a second chance against Matulovic. The big right-hander out of Cal winds up and deals. There's a broken bat over to third base. Ground ball that's taken in by Shenton. He makes a good play. Adam Oviedo sawed off to the max. About 3/4 of that bat went helicoptering on the left side of the infield. Thankfully, everybody okay. Third base umpire Mike Collier gives the shattered bat to Mike Roberts, who will then hand it off to one of our bat boys. And Oviedo retired for the second out of the inning, a 5-3 putout.
Props to Shenton, the third baseman, staying composed with some shards of wood coming your way. It skipped right under his feet as he made a nice throw.
Robertson first pitch swinging as he yanks one over to second base. Valenzuela, a good throw, and it's a 1-2-3 inning here in the bottom of the 3rd. Joey Matulovic working through the Kettleers order through the first 3 frames. He's held them scoreless. It's 2-0 Wareham as we venture to the 4th inning. Coming up next, Mike Reese, Patriots beat writer for ESPN. We'll have him in the booth here, a live interview here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Welcome back to beautiful Lowell Park as we enter the 4th inning of play. It's the Wareham Gatemen on top of the Cotuit Kettleers, 2-0. Griffin McLarty on the mound for the Kets to face Drew Millis, Ryan Kreidler, and Gian Martellini in this inning. Good to have you along with us, Sam Niederman, Sam Brief, and a very special guest here in our broadcast booth, ESPN.com Patriots beat reporter Mike Reese, the son of our very own Roy Reese, our public address announcer here at Lowell Park. Mike, so happy to have you. Thanks for coming on today.
It's great to be here, Sam and Sam. I got my son Nathan, who's 6, on my lap here. We're watching the game. We're having a great night. So thanks for having us.
Of course. We saw Nathan taking some swings earlier. He's getting ready to get into action after the game, right?
Yeah, we brought the tee down and the gloves. And I'll tell you, I remember with my dad, Nathan's 6, and when I was that age, my dad used to play with me, used to throw me grounders. We just always loved baseball. So anytime we can be around the park and playing, we love to do it.
McLarty's 1-0 is chopped into left field by Millis, and that'll get down for a leadoff single. So Wareham with their leadoff man aboard here in the top of the 4th inning. Mike, what a beautiful weekend for some baseball. Happy to be here. You finally got a week off in the summer. What's summer like for you?
That's right. Well, when you're covering the Patriots, there's not too many weeks off. You remember Bill Belichick at the end of that Super Bowl parade, he was saying no days off, right? That was his chant at the parade. So this is actually the quietest time on the NFL calendar. All the coaches are away, all the players are getting that final break in, so we try to do the same thing.
Patriots in the offseason, of course, coming off the Super Bowl loss to the Philadelphia Eagles as Ryan Kreidler steps in with a runner on and nobody out. What's it been like to be with this Patriots dynasty on the beat for so many years?
Wow, it's really been a remarkable ride. It's been 18 years with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, and no one ever would have thought it would be 18 years. And now we just wonder how many more.
There's a foul ball right in front of home plate from Kreidler, a 1-1 count on him. Runner on first base is Drew Millis. He had the leadoff single here in the 4th inning. 2-0 Wareham. Mike Reese joining us, ESPNBoston.com Patriots beat writer. So what's the camp been like? We come in, the Patriots getting ready for fall camp with Belichick. Brady, do you think he's got enough gas left in the tank? That's always kind of the X-factor question.
Oh, guys, I was watching him in June's mini camp, and I'm looking at a 40-year-old, and I'm saying, if you told me this was him in 2007, I would say, yeah, seems about right. 2009 seems about right. He just seems to be, beating this race against Father Time. And so I think he'll be strong this year. I guess the one thing you always say is they're not hitting right now. There's no pads. Sometimes all it takes is one hit, and it can go downhill fast. But Tom shows no signs of slowing down.
What is it? Is it that TB12 method? He's naturally gifted in that way.
I mean, well, to him, part of it's the TB12 method. He really believes in that. But I would say the one thing I've learned from being around Tom Brady is he lives every day of his life around how do I be a better football player, a better dad, a better husband. And so, literally, if you were to say to him now, what do you have planned for September 12th, he'd tell you what he's eating and what he's going to do that day.
Ground ball on the left side. This one through for another base hit to the left field. Ryan Kreidler with a single, and Wareham with 2 consecutive base knocks to have runners on first and third here in the 4th inning. And this will bring up former Cotuit Kettleer Gian Martellini with nobody out. So Brady, he's still got it, the TB12. It's been phenomenal. How about the man himself, Bill Belichick? When you're around a guy like him, how hard is it to cover a guy who's sometimes noted as not being as friendly with the media, but he's such a reputable and well-respected coach in football?
Well, it's definitely a mental challenge sometimes with him, because I think a lot of times you're asking a question that needs to be asked.
There's a foul ball on a bunt attempt from Martellini, a sacrifice situation here with 2 runners on.
But you know that he's probably not going to answer it. And so you say to yourself, I have to ask the question because I'm not respecting my profession if I just don't ask it. And every now and then he surprises you, by answering the question. The one thing I always said to Coach Belichick is, look, my job is just to try to be fair, to put both sides of it. And if you think I'm not being fair, then I'd like to have a discussion. And so that's really the main thing. And I would say, one of the great parts about covering his teams is the high level of football that they play.
The 0-1 pitch from McLarty to Martellini is in the dirt. A 1-1 count with 2 runners on here in the 4th, and a 2-run lead for Wareham. Mike Reese joining us, Patriots beat writer on ESPN.com.
So what's Belichick like outside of the spotlight, off the field, no press conference? Let's say team plane.
Yeah.
We're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. Wait a Cincinnati.
He was on the Cincinnati that year.
It's a foul ball from Martellini, 1-2.
And, I would say he's a completely different person. but one of the things that I always say is when he's talking in the media or to the media, he knows he's not just talking to a reporter. He's talking to all 53 of his players, and the message that he's telling them behind closed doors is what he's telling the media, you know, so he's not going to get off that script too often. So it's a completely different person, you know, with the media than what you'd see on Nantucket. He's a big Nantucket guy. I saw a picture on Instagram the other day where he was out for dinner with Rick Pitino and a bunch, you know, just sitting around lounging, you know, with the beautiful water in the background with boats coming in, and so, you know, it's a different guy, and he doesn't want us to see that part of him too much. Very private.
The 2-2 is fouled off on the right side from Martellini. Still 2-0 Gatemen here in the fourth inning. Mike Reese joining us. Mike, what about Rob Kraft? We hear he's a big Cape Cod guy. We're going to see him this summer, maybe?
Well, I think he has a place in New Seabury, is that or something like that.
That's close by on here. Yeah. I've seen that on the Rotary when we go on that Rotary there on 28.
So they're down here a lot. They spend part of the summer down here, as I understand it. And
there's a swing and a miss from Martellini. McLarty with his second strikeout of the day. That's good enough for the first out of this fourth inning.
We needed that one.
Yeah, and Skylar Hunter will come to the plate. So you get to make it out here to the Cape very often each summer?
Well, I was texting with my younger sister, I told her we were coming down today, and we sort of did it on a whim. You know, we weren't sure we were coming down, and I said, you know, we're pretty lucky to live where we live, where we can just sort of hop in the car and come to the Cape, where people all around the country are sort of making summer plans and flying in from all over to be here. So anytime we can get down, obviously, to see my dad and, you know, him to see the grandkids, we try to do it. And whenever there's baseball involved, like, sign me up. It's a lot of fun coming to the park. Like, you know, we used to go to Bourne Braves games sometimes because we would go to a place in Onset, Wareham area. And to me, like, coming here is sort of like the perfect Cape setting, you know, at this park, and to be in this environment is just great.
It's kind of a Wrigley Field kind of feel here at Lowell Park.
Definitely, with the trees just sort of lining the outfield, and you get fans just sitting out, you know, in the outfield, and then if you want to sit in the bleachers, you're in the bleachers. They put us here in the box, so I feel like I'm at a Patriots game, you know. You get the press box. I'm charging up my phones.
There's a liner that's caught by Corey Wood, a diving play, and he'll run to second base and tap it for a double play. What a play, Corey Wood, laying out and flashing the leather. He doubles off the runner at second base, and that gets Griffin McLarty and the Cotuit Kettleers out of the inning. Middle of the fourth, Kettleers coming to the plate, trailing 2-0 in the bottom of the fourth coming up. Mike Reese will stick with us for another half inning here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Lowell Park, bottom of the fourth inning. Cotuit down 2-0 on Wareham. It's Dillard, Brundage, and Smith due up to face Joey Matulovic. Sam Niederman along with Sam Brief, and then Mike Reese as well joining us in the booth, Patriots beat writer for ESPN.com. As Dillard gets hit by an off-speed pitch from Matulovic, and he'll trot down to first base to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning. Mike, thanks again for spending time with us. Nathan, your son is here with us in the booth enjoying this ball game today on this 4th of July week.
I have him looking at my iPhone, which is sometimes we call it our third parent sometimes. To take a little time, but man, I wish he had his head up to watch that play at second base at the end of that inning, half inning there. That was a great play.
Here's a ground ball to second base. Valenzuela will turn for 2 for 1. A throw on to first, and what a catch over there by Lockhart doing the splits as Bo Brundage grounds into a 4-6-3 double play. All of a sudden, 2 pitches and then 2 outs in this inning.
Man, it's just like to see him get their first hit here tonight, but good defense by both teams, I think. I think seeing the pitcher field his position well in the first inning for Cotuit, and then second base at the end of the last half inning, and then right there, that's a good turn.
So Brady Smith will come to the plate. 2 outs and nobody on, and the Kettleers down by 2 runs to Wareham here in the bottom of 4. First pitch from Matulovic, a big swing and a miss on a fastball. Mike Reese with us, Patriots beat writer. Favorite moment from covering the Patriots in your time?
I have to tell you, it had to be the 2007 regular season finale. So they were going for 16-0, and it was Patriots at Giants. And if you remember, the game was going to be on NFL Network. It was, but here locally, not everyone was going to get to see it because not everyone had NFL Network cable provider stuff, and they ended up getting it on the air. And do you remember Brady to Randy Moss? Incomplete at first, and it would have broken the record for like most TD passes by a quarterback, most TD catches by a receiver. And then he goes right back to Moss down the right side. It just felt like a Super Bowl moment.
Ground ball deep in the hole from Smith. A long throw. Wow, what a pick over there by Lockhart. He does the splits again. And what a throw by Kreidler from short, and that will end the inning. So the Kettleers go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 4th. Mike Reese, how about that 2007 recollection of Randy Moss and Tom Brady, if you want to finish the story here?
Yeah, I don't want to take us away from a break, but if we have time. And so, they were going for 16-0. It had never been done before because when the Dolphins went undefeated, they weren't playing 16 games at that time. And, just the back and forth, it felt like a Super Bowl. And they ended up obviously going 16-0. Brady set the record, Moss set the record, and just like being there, it was like one of those moments where like the hair on the back of your neck stands up. You never forget that. And then of course they didn't close the deal. They had it. They were 18-0, and then they played the Giants in the Super Bowl. And we all know what happened next, David Tyree, and they were so close. And I always joke, I'll tell you, it's fitting I'm here at the Cape. I always said it would have been nice if they finished it off because like 30 years from now when they were doing like those special shows, I'd say, come find Mike Reese somewhere down on the Cape, sipping Mai Tais out on his porch, and he'll tell you all about the 07 Patriots. But there's nothing to talk about because they didn't finish the deal, So,
it's crazy how sports work. All that matters is winning the last game, right?
That's right. That's why we follow them.
There you go. Well, Mike, thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the broadcast today. It was a pleasure having you and Nathan here.
Sam, keep up the great work. I know all the parents of the players and those who follow the team really appreciate what you do. You guys are doing an awesome job.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate the kind words and appreciate your time. Mike Reese, Patriots beat writer for ESPN.com. A pleasure to have him on board today. We'll get ready for the 5th inning. When we come back, the Kettleers down 2-0 against the Wareham Gatemen here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Welcome back. Top of the 5th here at Lowell Park. Wareham up at the plate. And the first pitch to the leadoff hitter, Jeremy Idens, a bit inside for ball 1. Big thanks to Mike Reese, ESPN Patriots reporter. Fantastic interview hearing about the 07 Patriots, all the wonderful Belichick, Brady, Kraft drama. That's always around Foxborough. As ball 2 comes in to Jeremy Idens. It's 2-0 Wareham, top of the 5th. as Griffin McLarty comes set for the 2-0. This time hits the inside corner for strike one. What a great conversation that time. And it's so interesting to hear the Patriots. I mean, I know we both come from the Midwest, the Colts territory, Bears territory. Interesting to hear when there's such a microscope on that team.
That's all so fascinating to me how Mike said that the 07 team, that last regular season game, not even the Super Bowl against the Giants, was one of his favorite memories that stood out from his long tenure covering the Patriots. Pretty awesome. There's a bevy of stories to be had with this dynasty.
This one lifted into the air by Idens, playable for the center fielder Brundage. He makes the easy catch for out number one. So big thanks to Mike Reese for that. And it's the top of the fifth, so we head to trivia time. We promised a Don Sneddon-themed question. Don Sneddon, of course, is in his second season as Wareham's manager, but it's his third season overall in the Gatemen system. He was an assistant back in 2016. So our trivia question for you today is this. Who was the manager in 2016 for Wareham when Sneddon was an assistant? Is it A, Tim Smith Jr., B, Mike Roberts, C, Jerry Weinstein, or D, Stephen Schock? Ball one comes into Sahid Valenzuela as he pulls back the bunt.
I can't believe you actually doctored up this question. Oh, my gosh.
We'll see. We'll see what the people say. Head over to our Twitter page, @Cotuit Kettleers, and give us your thoughts as Valenzuela fouls off the second pitch.
This is a level 1 Kettleers trivia. This is level 1.
We've done level 1. This is like level 0.5.
This is the beginner's pack right here. If this is your first broadcast, then you're getting a bunny to start off.
This is. I mean, we've had some level 10 questions. I think we started this segment out
a little
probably
hard,
went a little too hot out of the way. As the 1-1 comes in, it's ball two, a bit low. Again, Don Sneddon, who was the manager in Wareham when he was an assistant back in 2016. Tim Smith Jr., Mike Roberts, Jerry Weinstein, or Stephen Schock. Those are your options for this level 1 question. The 2-1, a liner through up the middle past the outstretched arm of Corey Wood. Another base hit for Sahid Valenzuela. And now Wareham in business here in the fifth.
I don't know. Who's that Schock guy? It kind of sounds familiar.
He reminds me of that big donkey 47.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spreading the humor on Twitter. Sounds like a former coach to me.
If you are a Kettleer fan, follow @big_donkey47 for all your Kettleer entertainment for the summer. But, of course, also follow @Cotuit Kettleers for even more. It's 2-0 Wareham. They've got 2 runs on 8 hits. Cotuit still being shut out without a hit as Griffin McLarty digs in against Austin Shenton, who's been the best hitter on the Cape this season, a .400 batting average. So statistically, he's number 1. First pitch to him. It's the outside corner, strike one. Shenton was showing bunt, but he pulled it back. Right as the third baseman, Ryan Reynolds, charged in. A shift being applied against Shenton, a pretty noticeable one, as the shortstop, Adam Oviedo, is shaded all the way past second base. He's on the right side of the infield. As ball one comes in, a fastball outside. So the first baseman, Tolia, holding the runner on. Corey Wood, dead center in between first and second. The shortstop, Oviedo, in almost second baseman territory as he's over to the right of second base. And then in between third and second is Ryan Reynolds. Pickoff attempt over to Valenzuela, not in time. It's 2-0 Wareham, top 5. Again, head over to @Cotuit Kettleers. We'll have the trivia answer for you. Right now, Stephen Schock leading vote getter with 60% of the vote. A 1-1 count, McLarty against Shenton. Griffin kicks and deals, swung on and fought off foul. A 1-2 count. This Wareham offense certainly has been hot this season. They lead the league in runs with 108. Second in the league in home runs batted in. It's been an explosive offense. And today already with 8 hits against McLarty, while Joey Matulovic on the other side is shutting down the Kettleers. A 1-2 count against Shenton. Here's the pitch. Swung on again, fought off foul. This time a sharp liner on the third base side, and the count stays put.
Not only the Wareham offense today, but how about that defense in the last couple of innings? Not only by Wareham, but the diving catch on the liner by Corey Wood, the double play to end the top of the 4th inning. And then, of course, a couple of great plays by Ryan Kreidler and Valenzuela, the middle infielders for Wareham in the last inning, and Lockhart with some great scoops at first as well. I guess Mike Reese must just be a defensive charm as we had him in our booth. So many great defenses. He came
in and said, this is a great defensive game. And that was one of the first things he said, as the 1-2 is fought off foul, and we'll stay right here with a 1-2 count. And how about Lyle Lockhart Jr., as you said, at first base, doing the splits on 2 consecutive plays, and the second time he just held it there to rub it in as McLarty fires to first for a big attempt. I think he had for an extra at least 5 seconds to be like, look, I can do this.
Yep. No. Hey, and if you could do it, by all means, flaunt it, baby. Yeah.
A 1-2 count, 1 man on, 1 out. Again, a pickoff attempt. Valenzuela, a lot of speed over there at first. He's back just in the nick of time. It's a 1-2 count to Austin Shenton. 2-0 Wareham, top 5. Griffin McLarty on the bump for the Kettleers. He's given up just 2 runs, but on 8 hits, as this explosive Wareham offense continues to churn out hits. A 1-2 count. Here's the pitch out of the stretch, low outside, and it's ball 2. It's impressive that this Wareham offense has continued to hum along without some of their Team USA guys. Andrew Vaughn, of course, the big slugger out of Cal, who won the Golden Spikes Award, which is the college baseball equivalent of the Heisman. He's gone off to Team USA. McLarty checks on the runner again. Bryant Packard, another 400 hitter with almost 20 home runs last season for Eastern Carolina. He's gone. Bryson Stott, a dynamic shortstop out of UNLV. He's playing with the team. Mason Fioli, one of their best pitchers who owned the Kettleers the first time around. He's gone. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, ripped right to the second baseman, Corey Wood. He makes a nice pick and fires to first to get the out. A feisty at-bat from Austin Shenton, but McLarty sits him down, and Valenzuela moves over to second with 2 outs.
Good job by Corey Wood there. He's had a nice game defensively. Once again, a short hop that he picks out nicely, gets the sure out at first base. And Griffin McLarty is now going to conference with Jerry Weinstein, and he's worked a decent day today, just unfortunately hasn't had the run support.
Jerry Weinstein trotting out of the dugout, and looks like he is going to turn to the bullpen. First a quick mound meeting, but now indeed he's going to turn to his bullpen as he takes the ball from Griffin McLarty. Good day at the offense for McLarty. Just 2 runs through about 5 innings of work against this dynamic Wareham offense. And we will take a quick break for the pitching change. On the other side, we'll have it for you and the rest of the 5th here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back here at Lowell Park, 2 outs, top 5. It's 2-0. The Gatemen leading the Kettleers. That's it for Griffin McLarty. 4 2/3 innings for him. 8 hits, but just 2 runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts for the junior righty out of the College of Charleston. And now on another righty, it's Luke Chevalier out of Northern State University out in Aberdeen, South Carolina. Chevalier, a Cotuit native, so he grew up playing games here at Lowell Park, and now he'll pitch on the Lowell's Park pitcher's mound. 1-0 on the season, 3.97 his ERA, 8 Ks, 4 walks. He has 2 starts. One was back on June 16th against Orleans and one just a week later against Brewster. He last appeared out of the pen on June 29th against Falmouth, 2 2/3, 5 runs, but none of them were earned on 3 hits with 2 Ks for Chevalier, and he will try to quiet a Wareham offense that's put together 8 hits through 5. First off, he'll face Lyle Lockhart Jr. out of Houston, and Chevalier steps off. That sounds like a country singer's name, right?
It does.
Right?
It does. The alliterative name, Lyle Lockhart, yeah. Interesting seeing Chevy in this kind of situation. Can go a lot of innings, a middle relief kind of guy here in this game.
First pitch to Lockhart Jr. inside, but hits the corner for strike 1. 2 runs on 8 hits for Wareham. No runs, no hits yet for the Kettleers. We're in the top of the 5th here at Lowell Park on a hot July day. Chevalier sets, pitch out of the stretch. Fastball outside for ball 1. That one clocked in at 90. Interestingly enough, for a guy who grew up in Cotuit, Sturgis Charter High School, went to Lowell Park to play games in Little League and high school, this is his first time actually appearing on the mound at Lowell Park. All 3 of his appearances before this were on the road. Here's the 1-1 to Lockhart Jr. Cuts inside. For ball 2, Brady Smith Jr. gets a hold of it. At Orleans, at Brewster, at Falmouth, and finally here at Cotuit, he gets to toe the rubber.
It's a dream realized. This is something he's worked towards as a kid, whether it be at Sturgis Charter, playing at Lowell Park. He's wanted to represent the Cotuit Kettleers in Cape Cod Baseball League play, and here he is making his debut at home for the Kettleers. Pretty amazing.
Here's the pitch from Chevalier, swung out, hammered into deep center field. Brundage going back, makes the catch right at the track. A ball that looked like it might carry out, but Brundage keeps it in, and it's 2-0 Wareham heading into the home half of the 5th here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Welcome back to Lowell Park, and to the bottom of the 5th we go. Kettleers facing off against the West-leading Wareham Gatemen. 12-8 are the Gatemen. They have the best record in all the Cape. Cotuit 4th in the West with a 9-8-1 record. Joey Matulovic working a no-hitter through 4 innings. He has been superb. The righty out of cap fires in the first ball to his Pac-12 counterpart, Jacob Goldfarb. The Oregon Duck leads things off in the 5th. Corey Wood, Michael Tolia to follow. Here comes the 1-0 from Matulovic. Swung on by Goldfarb, a high fly ball on the left side, playable for the left fielder Idens, and he makes the grab for a quick first out. How about Joey Matulovic today? The ace for Wareham. Just an 0.50 ERA on the season, 17 strikeouts to just 5 walks. He didn't give up an earned run in his last start, and so far, no hits, no runs through 4 1/3. Just 2 base runners today for the Kettleers. Dillard and Smith both reached on walks as Corey Wood takes a first pitch strike inside for strike 1. So we talked to Coach before the game. He said the solution to any offensive funk is swinging, swinging, swinging. As the 0-1 comes in, Wood swings and sends it down the first base line. A base hit, the first of the day for the Kettleers. Wood charging into second. Here comes the throw. It's cut off, and he slides into second with a double and the first hit today for Cotuit.
Nicely done, Corey Wood. Finally finds a way to rope that one down the line. Got it past the first baseman, Lockhart. He wasn't making a play on that one. And good speed and hustle from Corey to get down there to second in time. He kind of stumbled across the first base bag. No harm done. And the Kettleers finally with a runner on and a runner in scoring position as well. And that will do and try and see if they can runs of the day against.
So the Kettleers get a runner on with Corey Wood. He's at second. Michael Tolia up next. Here comes the pitch out of the stretch from Matulovic. It's in there for strike one. It was the second consecutive home game with Cotuit being no-hit through 4 innings. Alec Manoa a few days ago for Chatham had a no-hitter through 4. He was pulled, and then right after that in the 5th, Cotuit put together a 3-run rally. Ended up winning that game 4-3 in extras. They'll look for some of the same 5th inning magic here with big Michael Tolia at the dish. Corey Wood takes his lead at second, both hands on his knees. And Matulovic set out of the stretch the first time today. He'll check on the runner, and Wood back in time with a head-first slide.
Second time they've done that today. First time they've actually done it full through with Kreidler at short, hustling into second base to try and get a runner. Good alertness by Corey Wood to get back in time.
Tolia taps home plate, the black bat matching his all-black cleats, the high maroon socks. And here's the pitch from Matulovic. Good fastball in there for a called strike 2. Tolia displaying some patience here at the plate. He takes a deep breath, loosens himself up, and gets back in. Again, Corey Wood with the lead. Kettleers down by 2. A chance to change that here with a runner in scoring position. Here's the pitch to Tolia. Fouled straight back. It takes a clunk off the piping of the backstop. And the count stays at 0-2.
Tolia due for a base hit here. Big spot. Chance to either at least cut this to a 1-run game or maybe even tie it. Had a tough day yesterday at Falmouth in the bottom of that order. Going 0 for 4, but a big spot here.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Matulovic ready. Here's the pitch to Tolia. Swung on a ground ball right back to Matulovic. He'll just take the flip to first for the easy out. Corey Wood stays put at second. Now 2 outs for Ryan Reynolds.
Unlucky. Hit that ball hard, just right back at Matulovic on the mound, who made a good play on it. Corey Wood had to stay home. Unfortunate break for the Kettleers and Michael Tolia.
Here's Ryan Reynolds now, switch hitting third baseman out of Texas. His 3rd game as a Kettleer. 1 for 7 on the young year with 2 walks. And he gets set to face off against Matulovic. Here comes the first pitch. Big swing and a miss for Ryan Reynolds. Reynolds in his first 2 games as a Kettleer had that orange Texas Longhorn cleats. Right now, he's got black Nike cleats. In the dugout, we actually saw Thomas Dillard and Ryan Reynolds switch cleats. So we'll have to take another look when Dillard steps back out. But when I saw him before the game, he had the Texas cleats on as ball 1 comes in. So I saw Dillard coming down in the dugout with those orange cleats.
I must have missed that. We were down in the dugout earlier. I did not catch that.
So we'll take a look at Dillard next time around the order. But seems like Reynolds has Dillard's cleats on right now. Must be the same shoe size. As Matulovic readies for the 1-1, here it is. It hooks inside and gets the elbow of Ryan Reynolds. Hit batsman. Reynolds takes first, and now 2 men on for Cotuit.
That's the way to keep the inning alive. Reynolds doing well to just stand in and take that hit pitch. Matulovic struggling a little bit in this inning with his control. And now Adam Oviedo can at least try and get a base hit or keep this thing alive for the top of the order. The Kettleers' best chance of the day. Talked about it so many times. Never want to wait too long to mount a comeback. It's only a 2-run deficit. Better to get at least 1 here than have to get 2 later on in the 8th or 9th innings.
It'll be up to Adam Oviedo, shortstop out of TCU, Texas Christian University. And the righty steps in to face the righty in Matulovic. Out of the stretch again, here's the pitch. Oviedo takes a hack, and it's a high pop-up in foul territory, not playable, as it clunks off the bleachers for strike one. Remember our trivia question. Go to @Cotuit Kettleers on Twitter. Give us your best answer for who was the manager in 2016 for Wareham when Don Sneddon, their current manager, was an assistant. Hint, it's a Cotuit Kettleer. Tell us which one over on Twitter. 0-1 the count to Oviedo. 2 men on. Corey Wood, Ryan Reynolds. 2-0 Wareham, bottom 5. Here's the pitch to Oviedo. It bounces low for ball 1. After Oviedo, if the inning can stay alive, we'll kick it to the top with Will Robertson and Thomas Dillard. Maybe we can get a look at those cleats. 1-1 the count. Matulovic set. Looks back a few times at Corey Wood. Now the pitch hits the outside corner, strike 2. So Matulovic had a no-hitter through 4 innings. Corey Wood broke that with a sharp double down the first base line. But Matulovic here with a chance to keep Cotuit with a goose egg in the runs category. Here's the 1-2 to Oviedo. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Joey Matulovic indeed keeps Cotuit scoreless. It's still 2-0 Wareham through 5. It's the Kettleers and the Gatemen here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Lowell Park, top of the 6th inning here, and the Kettleers down 2-0 against the Wareham Gatemen. Luke Chevalier on to work his first full inning of the afternoon after coming in and finishing off the 5th for Griffin McLarty, who went 4 2/3, allowing 8 hits, 2 runs, did not walk a man, and struck out 2. First batter that Chevy faces, the first pitch swung on and hit in the left center field. A big shot for Payton. Right out of the gate, a nice little opposite field single. And the Gatemen register their 9th hit of the day and have the leadoff man aboard for the 2nd consecutive inning. And this will bring things around for Drew Millis.
Man, these Gatemen really know how to knock it around. That's 8 singles on the day and 9 hits. A lot of just pokes into the opposite field. They can stroke it offensively.
Defensive substitution for the Kettleers entering this inning. Zach Bierman off the bench and now at first base. Michael Tolia moves to right field. Will Robertson moves over to left field. Jacob Goldfarb has been lifted, and he's no longer in the ball game. So Robertson in left, Tolia moves to right, and Zach Bierman enters the ball game at first base. Everybody else, or excuse me, Jacob Goldfarb still in the ball game at catcher. Brady Smith on the bench. So one more check of that. It's Goldfarb who moves to catcher. Robertson is in left, Tolia in right, and Bierman off the bench at first base. Brady Smith, the man on the bench. Luke Chevalier on the mound, 0-1 the count on the batter. in Millis and a runner on first base. The 0-1 ripped on the right side, and that's a foul ball. Doing a little skip to my loo over there is Ryan Messmer, the first baseman coach for the Wareham Gatemen. 2-0 Wareham here in the top of the 6th inning. The 2 spot in the 3rd, all that the Gatemen have needed so far. And Joey Matulovic shutting out the Kettleers through 5 innings, only allowing 1 hit and a few base runners in total. Luke Chevalier, the Cotuit native, the man on the mound, making his first ever appearance at Lowell Park this season. The 0-2 runs way up and outside on Millis, and it's 1-2. Shadows casting onto Lowell Park. Third base side of the infield with a lot of shadows extending just behind the mound and over the third base bag. Also into left field where Will Robertson stands. Everybody else in the sun still. 1-2 from Chevy, another foul ball from Millis on the left side, and that'll get out of play behind the trees near the Cotuit bullpen. Happy to have you with us today. Hope you're doing well. Has your Tuesday, 4th of July weekend. Having a good one so far. It's that summer on Cape Cod kind of feel. Sam Niederman alongside Sam Brief and our entire Kettleers media team. Chevy's 1-2, hit in the air towards left field, tracking towards the line. Robertson coming on. He will make the catch in foul territory for out number 1. A good job to get the throw into the infield, and Parks will have to retreat back to first base. 1 down here at the top of the 6th.
Really nice job from Robertson. Over a tricky hit there that time from Haven Parks. Some good-looking contact. I mean, with these Gatemen, even the hits that end up as outs, a lot of times they look good. Some sharp liners off the bats.
First base and 1 out in the inning. Ryan Kreidler will step in. 2 for 2 today with 2 singles. Infield at double play depth. First pitch from Chevalier, grounded on the left side. Backhand pick by Reynolds. He'll throw long to first in time. Nice play, Ryan Reynolds. Zach Bierman with the snag over there. He points to Reynolds at the hot corner, who makes the 5-3 put out for the 2nd out of the inning. The runner moves up in Parks. He was going on that pitch, so he advances to second base, and there are 2 down.
Man, Ryan Reynolds, really good defense. We talked the other day about him hitting the national radar with that play he made in the regionals, the barehanded relay to home. Yesterday, made a nice barehanded play, and today, he's looked real good.
Mound visit time. Jerry Weinstein will trot out of the dugout. The entire infield and Jacob Goldfarb, the new catcher, will wrap around the pitcher and Luke Chevalier, and everybody will conference here. Coach Weinstein making his trip out to the mound, and right on cue, let's take a look at our trivia question. Give you the answer. The question was, who was the manager for the Wareham Gatemen in 2016 when current manager Don Sneddon first coached there? Was it A, Tim Smith Jr., B, Mike Roberts, C, Jerry Weinstein, the man that just went to the mound, or D, Big Donkey 47, Stephen Schock? Well, the answer, C, Jerry Weinstein. That was a layup, who just made the mound visit for Cotuit there as Chevalier throws in an off-speed pitch for a strike on John Martellini. Weinstein coached for 1 season in Wareham in 2016 before making his Cape League return here to Cotuit. So there you go. If you did not get that question, then you might need to do some Kettleers homework in the future. Chevalier with an 0-2 count on Martellini as he fouled off the last pitch. Runner on second base, Haven Parks. He takes his lead after leading off this inning with a single. He advanced on the ground out to third the last time up. Chevalier out of the stretch. The 0-2 casted right to the shortstop, Corey Wood, who jumps up and makes a leaping catch for out number 3. So Chevalier works around a leadoff single and strands a man here in the top of the 6th. We head to the bottom of 6th. The Kettleers still trailing by 2 runs against Wareham. We'll be back in just a moment with Cotuit at the plate here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Kettleers trying to have a hit here in the bottom of the 6th inning as they're down 2-0 against the Wareham Gatemen. Top of the order due up for the Kettleers, Robertson, Dillard, and then Brundage. And it will be Joey Matulovic still out on the mound for Wareham. Working into the 6th inning, he's allowed no runs on just 1 hit today. A total of just 4 Cotuit base runners. He's been lights out in the top of the order. We'll see him for just the 3rd time this afternoon. Robertson will dig in to start things off, batting from the left side. Will 0 for 2 today. Popped out to second and grounded to second in his 2 plate appearances. Matulovic, the big right-hander out of Cal, out of the windup and deals in a first pitch fastball that's just off the plate at 92 miles an hour for ball 1. The 2 spot in the 3rd inning, the strength of Wareham's lead so far. Matulovic misses outside once again with a fastball. It's 2-0 on Robertson, who came up big last night in the tie against Falmouth. The solo home run in the 8th inning to tie the game at 2. He takes a fastball on the inner part of the plate for strike 1. 2-1 the count. Will hit that one out to deep right center field at Gov Fuller Field. It flew out, and that was the last score of the ball game as the game resulted in a 2-2 tie after 12 innings of play, the Cape League limit in extras. Swing and a miss from Robertson makes it a 2-2 count. Matulovic, the big windup. Here's his 2-2. Fought off foul on the left side. Robertson out of Creighton. 2 for 6 last night with that home run. He's hitting .300 coming into today with 18 hits to lead the team. 2 home runs and 10 driven in. Matulovic's 2-2. Hit hard in the air to deep right center field. It will be playable for Skylar Hunter, who takes a few steps in and makes the catch. And that's the first out of the inning. Joey Matulovic once again sitting down the leadoff batter for Cotuit.
Yeah, Matulovic has just done such a good job today. Looks so sharp. Now here's Thomas Dillard. And we get a look at those cleats. We can see it is those Texas cleats. I see the white cleats with the orange Nike swoosh and the orange soles. So I guess we did have a cleat swap.
How about this as Dillard takes a strike on the outside corner. 1 out and nobody aboard in the top of 6. 2-0 Wareham. Thomas Dillard, the DH for Cotuit at the plate, sporting Ryan Reynolds cleats. Dillard, of course, the Ole Miss Rebel. Reynolds, one of the new additions to the Cotuit squad out of Texas. He's got the burnt orange cleats on, as well as some burnt orange batting gloves. A little bit of a jersey swap kind of feel here for Dilly, who fouls a fastball straight back, and he's down in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Dilly with the white cleats trimmed in burnt orange for Texas. Kind of shiny cleats, the same ones that Reynolds wore last night. The 1-2 runs inside from Matulovic. He's been committing to his fastball. He misses with it there, and the count evens 2-2. Sits in the low to mid-90s with that heater. It's been working today. Pitch to Dillard. He fouls one straight back to the fence behind home plate, and it remains at 2-2. Coming in hot. That would have been right on your face had the backstop not been there.
At this point in the season, it's almost 20 games in. I usually don't flinch, but that time I almost fell out of my seat.
Another 2-2 from Matulovic. Misses up and away, and the count runs full on Dilly. 2-0 Wareham Gatemen in front of Cotuit here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1 out and nobody aboard. Dillard trying to get something started, batting from the left side. The right-hander Matulovic kicks in, deals, and a high drive towards right field. That'll sky out of play foul. Dillard with a lumberjack cut on that swing, but just a little out in front of it, and we'll do another full count.
It'll be interesting to see how the home run derby plays a role in his swing. You see MLB stars all the time comment on the home run derby messing maybe with their swing, but Dillard, we'll see how it looks.
The full count pitch here. He's on it once again and lines it back behind home plate foul. He participated in the home run derby for the College World Series in Omaha a couple days ago. Posted up 33 home runs. Did not make it to the finals. Had a very good showing representing Ole Miss, representing the Kettleers, who had a broadcast shout-out. Tom Hart on ESPN, name-dropping Cotuit. As Dilly takes a fastball way upstairs, that's a good at-bat as he'll trot down to first base. He walks with 1 out here in the 6th.
It seems like that's going to be the recipe against Matulovic. the reality is you're not going to string together hits against Matulovic back to back to back to back. You got to get someone way like that, tough walk or a hit by pitch, and then just hope that you can get something deep into the outfield.
Here's Bo Brundage with a runner on first and 1 out as he takes a strike on the outside corner from Matulovic. 2 walks today for Matulovic, 2 hit batsmen, and only 1 hit. The 5th base runner of the day for Cotuit is Thomas Dillard. The 0-1 from Brundage, chopped towards short. Kreidler has it, underhand toss to second for 1. That's all they'll get as Dillard slides hard and Valenzuela unable to do anything with it. So a 6-4 fielder's choice. Dillard out on the base paths, and Brundage will be safe at first. With 2 outs here in the bottom of 6, and now Zach Bierman will step into the batter's box, replacing Brady Smith in the last inning defensively. And the big first baseman out of Coastal Carolina will pick things up here in the bottom of 6 batting cleanup. First pitch from Matulovic, cooking right there on the outside corner, a strike 1 on the fastball. Brundage with the fielder's choice for the 2nd out of the inning. He's on first. Nearly a double play, but the slide from Dillard breaks it up as Bierman fans through Matulovic, 0-2 the count. Kettleers trailing by 2 runs in the bottom of 6. Zach Bierman at the plate, gripping his neutral-colored bat with the maroon batting gloves. He takes a big hack and a miss at strike 3. Another strikeout for Joey Matulovic, sticking his tongue out off the mound. Happy as he can be for the Wareham Gatemen into the 7th inning. They lead 2-0 against the Cotuit Kettleers as the Kets will be back in the field on the next inning here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Top of the 7th inning, and the Kettleers down 2-0 against the Wareham Gatemen. New pitcher on for Cotuit, Joe Boyle, the big right-hander out of the University of Notre Dame. He'll come on, relieving Luke Chevalier, who finishes up his day, going an inning and a third. Did not allow any runs, only 1 hit, and a solid day's work in his first ever time pitching here at Lowell Park as a Cotuit Kettleer, realizing a childhood dream. So good for Chevy. Of course, he had pitched plenty of times on the road for Cotuit, but he gets to do it in front of his family today. His mom, Nikki, singing the national anthem. And on a 4th of July week, very special for him to make his home debut in the pinstripes for the Kettleers. A solid day for him. It will be the Wareham Gatemen sending up 9-1-2. Skylar Hunter to start things off, followed by Jeremy Idens, and then Saheed Valenzuela against the flame-throwing right-hander in Joe Boyle. From the stretch, first pitch grounded right off of Boyle's shin. A ricochet to Corey Wood at second, who tried to bareham sling it over to Bierman, but not in time. And once again, Wareham with the leadoff man on. Hunter, an infield base hit.
A tough bounce on that play, but
Joe Boyle, the thing to look for here is control. When he's on, he's really on. First time out
against Wareham, he was on in a big way. Struck out the side, 1-2-3. We've seen the control slide in a few times. Let's see what he can do here second time around against the Gatemen.
Top of the order, it's Jeremy Idens out of UCLA. Against the right-hander Boyle, who slings in a fastball at 98 miles an hour, fouled off to the right side. Infield base hit from Skylar Hunter marks the 10th base knock of the day for the Wareham Gatemen. 2 runs on 10 hits and no errors for Wareham. No runs on 1 hit and no errors for Cotuit here in the 7th. Boyle's 0-1, grounded right to short. Oviedo can't make the play. It's off the tip of his glove and into center field. Hunter digging around second into third. It's an E6 that will allow Idens to reach first. And after that error, it will be runners on first and third with nobody out in the top of 7.
Just a tough play. I mean, it happens sometimes. We've seen it a few times this season, but Oviedo, a really good defensive shortstop, 99% of the time. That's just the unfortunate 1%.
That bouncing ball would have been a double play. Instead, the Kettleers infield will have to play in on the grass. Runners on first and third. Nobody out in the top of 7. Zahid Valenzuela at the plate. Boyle's first pitch to him, a fastball at 98, too high for ball 1. Hunter on third base after the error. That's the run that the Kettleers infield are preoccupied with now, as all the infield on the grass, but Bierman holding on at first. 1-0 grounded to second. Wood takes it. He'll throw home. They get the runner there. Skylar Hunter tagged out by Jacob Goldfarb. Corey Wood with a nice job to come home. Infield playing in, and the Kettleers stop a run at home plate. That's the first out of the inning.
That was a really good decision from Corey Wood. We saw him hesitate on a similar play earlier in the game. That time just makes the easy throw. The runner didn't even have to slide because he knew he was out. Goldfarb does a good job applying the tag. And still with the runner in scoring position, but preserving that run is huge.
So runners on first and second, 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Wood with the 4-2 fielder's choice to throw out Hunter at home plate. Joe Boyle on in relief, working with Jacob Goldfarb behind home plate. Infield will shift back to double play depth. Adam Oviedo receiving instructions from Mike Roberts, who's out of the dugout. He's going to be shaded just off the second base bag. Corey Wood shifts over to normal depth at second base. Ryan Reynolds, the third baseman, in on the grass. And there's kind of a gap between short and third.
Oliver Dunn in as a pinch runner at first.
Good eye, partner, as there's a wild pitch that Jacob Goldfarb can't find. It blocks off of his blocker, and Joe Boyle will have to come out and retrieve it. Hang on, time called. As one runner moves up to third base in Idens. Oliver Dunn, the pinch runner, stays put at first. So Valenzuela out of the game. It's Oliver Dunn who's the pinch runner at first. Idens on third after the wild pitch. Goldfarb had trouble finding it. It leaked out to his right side. He was looking back towards the backstop when it was out in front of him. Infield will draw back in with 1 out here in the top of 7 and a 2-0 count. Ball 3 as Boyle misses in the other batter's box, facing Austin Shenton, Wareham's best batter. With 26 hits on the season, he's 2 for 3 today. Had the RBI single back in the third. Boyle's 3-0. Fastball that misses downstairs, and it's a 4-pitch walk to load the bases here in the 7th.
Not the worst thing in the world, given that it's Shenton, and there's a big difference, frankly, between Shenton and Lyle Lockhart Jr., who's coming in to bat here in the cleanup spot. You get Shenton on the base paths, now a force at any base. With 1 out, double play certainly in play for the Kettleers.
Bases are loaded. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. The Kettleers were able to get a runner coming home earlier in this inning. The 4-2 fielder's choice from Corey Wood when Valenzuela grounded to him. The infield comes back in. Bases are loaded. Runners will take big leads. Boyle's first pitch down and in for ball 1 on Lyle Lockhart Jr., who is 0 for 3 today with an RBI fielder's choice back in the third. The second run and the last run to be scored in this one for Wareham, who lead 2-0. Boyle comes set, the big right-hander. Kicks and deals and hits a batsman. as his slider runs in and eats up Lockhart. Everybody will move up one base, and a run comes home to score in Idens, and it's 3-0 Wareham.
Yeah, that's tough, and you hate to see the control start to get to Joe Boyle here, and on cue, Jerry Weinstein comes out for a quick visit, and it looks like he might take the ball from his tall righty.
That will be it for Joe Boyle. Jerry Weinstein gets the ball, and he'll make a call to the bullpen. Here in the top of the 7th, Wareham tacks on another. It's 3-0. With only one out and the bases still loaded. We'll get you the new pitcher when we return here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back at Lowell Park, middle of the 7th inning here. One out in the top of 7. Bases loaded for Wareham, who lead 3-0 with a run already home in this inning. New pitcher on for Cotuit, Ryan Smith, the left-hander, who deals to Pavin Parks. First pitch is popped up foul on the left side near the concourse there here on the third base side dugout. Hopefully everybody okay. See some fans staring. I don't think that ball hit anybody. Everybody all right? Just an 0-1 count. Ryan Smith on the mound. The lefty kicks and deals. Parks takes upstairs a missed fastball that goes off the glove of Goldfarb. 1-1 the count. One out in this inning. Corey Wood threw out a runner at home from second base with the infield playing in. But a hit batsman with the bases loaded from Joe Boyle allowed Jeremy Idens to score. Bases loaded for the Gatemen here, looking to break it open. 1-1 to Parks. Curveball that loops outside, 2-1. Lyle Lockhart, the runner on first base. He got hit by that pitch from Boyle. Austin Shenton on second. He walked. And it's Oliver Dunn, a pinch runner on third, running for Sahid Valenzuela, who had the fielder's choice for the first out. 2-1 from Parks, lifted in the air towards the left side on the foul territory. That one will land in the Cotuit bullpen. 2-2. 3-0 Wareham on top of Cotuit. 2 runs in the third for the Gatemen, 1 run home here. Kettleers trying to keep it at just that, an unearned run, as a potential double play to Adam Oviedo turned into an E6. 2-2 to Parks, swing and a miss on a breaking pitch in the dirt. And that's the second out of the inning. A good job by Ryan Smith, who introduces himself into this ball game.
Yeah, nice job, Ryan Smith. He's come on as a strong lefty arm in this bullpen. Pitched last night, gave up 1 run on a hit in that 2-2 tie against Falmouth, but he's been solid out of Princeton. We know he's a smart kid, right? And he has a good lefty arm, too.
Runners take big leads with nobody holding on. First pitch to Drew Millis, a ball upstairs, 1-0. 2 outs and the bases loaded. Wareham with the 3-run edge on the road. Top of the 7th here, and Ryan Smith trying to clean up this mess. There's a big swing and a foul ball back from Millis, and it's an 1-1 count. The Kettleers trying to get into the win column after the tie last night against Falmouth, a 2-2 tie in 12 innings. Here's Smith's 1-1. Curveball misses outside, 2 balls and a strike to Millis. Wareham, in the meantime, have lost 2 consecutive ball games, only for the 2nd time this season. They're 12-8, pacing the Western Division, jockeying with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks of all teams. The 2-1 from Smith. Curveball that's down in the dirt at 70 miles an hour. Good job by Goldfarb behind the plate to keep it in front. But Millis ahead in the count, 3 balls and a strike. Shadows across the infield at Lowell Park. They're starting to extend into center field as well. Sun's starting to go down. 3-1 from Smith, called strike, a fastball at the knees. Millis thought it was ball 4. Instead, it's a full count. Zach Bierman signaling to the rest of the infield at first base. Everybody getting set here. Bases are loaded. Gatemen up by 3. 2 outs in the 7th. Here's a full count pitch. Misses upstairs. Almost a check swing from Millis. He did not go around. Ball 4 as Smith walks in another run. Oliver Dunn comes home to score. 4-0 Gatemen.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, with the bases loaded, 3-2 count, you got to make a perfect pitch, and that time too high. And the Gatemen score their 4th run.
So the bases will still be loaded for Ryan Kreidler, the shortstop, who will step in. Still 2 outs in the top of 7. Ryan Smith, the lefty, kicks and deals. He misses way high with a curveball that didn't curve that much. 1-0. A 4-0 Wareham lead over Cotuit here in the top of the 7th. Time called at home plate by Ryan Kreidler. UCLA shortstop joining his UCLA teammate in Jeremy Idens with the Gatemen a few games into this season. 1-0 from Smith. There's a fastball down the heart of the plate. That'll even the count. The walk to Millis with the bases loaded extends the Gatemen lead to 4. 1-1 count here. Kreidler chops one high up the middle of the infield. Corey Wood will take it and go to the second himself, and that will end the frame. But the Gatemen put 2 more up on the board. Here in the 7th, they lead it 4-0 over Cotuit. Stretch time at Lowell Park, and the bats will have to get going for the Kettleers when we come back here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Welcome back to Lowell Park. Bottom of the 7th inning as we've just finished off stretch time. 4-0. Wareham on top. And the Kettleers have the beneficiary of facing a new pitcher here in this inning. Joey Matulovic is done. He goes 6 shutout innings, only allowing 1 hit. He walked 2, did not give up a single run to the Kettleers, and he exits the game with his team in front. 4-0. New pitcher on for the Gatemen, a right-hander, Cotuit Kettleers, out of Mount Dora, Florida, from Southern Miss, a rising junior, 6'4", 185 pounds. He'll come on to face the Kettleers in their bottom of the 7th inning, facing a pinch hitter in Eric Jones, who will be batting for Jacob Goldfarb, followed by Corey Wood, and then Michael Tolia.
4 appearances this season for Cotuit Kettleers, an even 5 ERA, 12 strikeouts, 7 walks. Last time out on the 29th of June against Hyannis, he gave up just 1 run in an inning of work, 2 hits, 3 Ks.
So Carroll, the new pitcher, on to work the 7th for Wareham. Matulovic goes 6 shutout innings. Jones, the pinch hitter, to lead things off, followed by Wood and then Tolia. Kettleers trailing by 4 runs, and they'll have a chance with 9 outs to work with against the Wareham bullpen. Shadows extending across Lowell Park. Right field is about the only sun-splotched spot here in the ballpark. Eric Jones out of Davidson making his introduction into this game. Batting from the right side, he replaces Jacob Goldfarb, the catcher, here in the 7th inning. Cotuit Kettleers, the right-hander out of Southern Miss, winds up his first pitch. Fastball on the outside corner at 90 miles an hour for strike 1.
All right, this might be the Kettleers' chance. Matulovic is gone, and he was certainly the thorn in Cotuit's side, but just 1 hit through 6 innings. So let's see if the Kettleers can breathe some life into the offense.
Carroll's 0-1 to Jones. There's a good curveball in there for a strike. 0-2 the count. Wareham doubling up their lead in the top of the 7th inning. 2 runs come in off a hit batsman with the bases loaded and a walk with the bases loaded. Only 1 hit in that inning for the Gatemen, who are up 4-zip. 0-2 to Jones. Curveball off the plate, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Packed house here at Lowell Park. This is oftentimes one of the best weeks of the season attendance-wise at arguably the Cape League's most beautiful ballpark. Lowell Park 3rd in attendance on the young season, drawing over 10,000 fans to begin the campaign as Jones swings and misses at a curveball in the dirt. And Cotuit Kettleers comes on and strikes out the first batter he sees. 1 down here in the bottom of 7.
Some good breaking balls that time from Cotuit Kettleers. We saw him fool Jones on a couple in that at-bat. And now here's Corey Wood, the only Kettleer with a hit today.
Corey Wood, that hit was a double that came back in the 5th inning. He was stranded in that inning. The best chance that Cotuit has had against Joey Matulovic. Now facing a bullpen man in the right-hander Cotuit Kettleers, who deals in a first pitch fastball for strike 1 on Wood. Wood batting from the left side, Coastal Carolina second baseman. In the shadows at home plate as Cotuit Kettleers winds up with his black mitt. Here's his 0-1, chopped on the right side, taken by Lockhart at first. He'll toss it to Kettleers, who comes over to cover the bag, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. 2 down and nobody on. Michael Tolia will be the batter at the plate. Switch hitter out of UCLA will go through his stretching routine. Kind of does a shoulder stretch with the bat behind his arms there. A couple of wide forward folds, and now he'll get ready to bat from the left side against the right-hander and Kettleers. 4-0 Gatemen on top of the Kettleers. Bottom of the 7th and 2 outs. Kettleers out of Southern Miss. His windup, first pitch, sweeps inside, a curveball, 1-0 on Tolia. Tolia today, 0 for 2, trying to break out of a slump. 4 for his first 36 as a Kettleer, coming back for his 2nd season here on the Cape. The 1-0, grounded right in front of the pitcher's mound, taken by Kettleers on the run, an underhand toss to Lockhart at first. And it's a 1-3 put out to cap off the 7th. We head to the 8th. Kettleers still trailing 4-0 against Wareham.
We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Back here at Lowell Park, top of the 8th, between the Gatemen and the Kettleers. 4-0, Wareham leads it. The Gatemen have 4 runs on 10 hits, no runs on just 1 hit for the Kettleers. And fans, learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. It's all online at www.curry.edu. So Deacon Metters is on for the Kettleers. He comes in relief of Ryan Smith. Metters, a member of the Crimson Tide at Alabama, number 47. He's been one of the best arms in the bullpen for the Kettleers this season. The first week of play, he was named the Cape Cod Pitcher of the Week. First pitch, looping breaking ball in there, called strike 1 on Gian Martellini.
It's been really fun to watch Deacon at the beginning of this season, activated as a permanent player and one of the best arms out of the pen for Cotuit.
Now a rip into left field, base hit for Martellini. He's rounding first, going to try for 2. The throw coming in from left, not in time, as Martellini slides in safe with a leadoff double.
John Martellini, welcome back to Lowell Park. There's a little double to lead off the 8th inning. And once again, Wareham has really found contact today. They've been hitting the ball, seeing the ball well. 11 hits for the Gatemen today. And it hasn't been terrible pitching from Cotuit. It's just been a case of a good hitting side. And again, the Kettleers offense unable to produce much to help their pitchers.
Martellini now at second. Skylar Hunter, center fielder from Purdue, digs in. And the lefty takes a first pitch swing, sends a ball mile high in the infield. Playable for the shortstop Oviedo. He makes the catch for out number 1. So you mentioned Martellini at second, a returning Kettleer. He was a good power hitter last year, for the Kettleers. And an interesting thing was, remember Father's Day? A few weeks ago, the Sunday doubleheader, game 1 of that doubleheader, Zach Bierman walked things off with a single 5-4 win for Cotuit against YD. Exactly a year ago to the day, Father's Day 2017, Gian Martellini hit a walk-off single to send the Kettleers home happy in game 1 of 2 in that Father's Day doubleheader.
How about that? That was so crazy how we dug that up. Might become a tradition next year. 3rd time's, what do they call
exactly.
it? 1 time is a fluke or 2nd time's a coincidence? What is it?
One's a chance, 2's a rhythm, 2's a pattern.
I don't know. You're going on a different path than I was taking. But
it's Jeremy Idens.
3's a trend.
Now.
I think 3's a trend is the one that we're looking for.
What's a tradition? 1-1, shot foul, a 1-2 count.
Maybe 4,
4
5,
a tradition?
6, probably 10.
5 a concurrence.
Maybe.
We're going to make our own quote here.
A streak?
It'll go down in the record books.
Yeah.
It's a 1-2 count right now for Jeremy Idens. He's been solid today, a double, and he came around to score in that 2-run third for Wareham. Martellini swapping the bugs out of his face. And Iden sends one straight back. The count stays at 1-2. It's 4-0 Wareham, top 8. Sam and Sam, thanks for joining us. Our next broadcast, by the way, will be on Thursday, right here at Lowell Park, 5 o'clock first pitch against the Falmouth Commodores. Day off tomorrow for both the Gatemen and the Kettleers on the 4th of July. The 1-2 pitch is a curveball, high and tight for ball 2. Day off for the Kettleers, but there will still be a lot of fanfare here at Lowell Park. Of course, the Cotuit Parade, family fun here at the park, and then the hitting contest with Coach Mike Roberts as the pitcher. Here's the 2-2 count to Eden. Pitch from Metters, breaking ball too high, and the count runs full.
Then on Friday, there's Veterans Day.
And then Veterans Day Friday, that'll be Heroes in the Park. That's July 6th for the game against Bourne. Honoring all active and retired military personnel. A full count to Jeremy Idens. Here's the pitch from Metters. It's too low, ball 4. And Idens is aboard at first. So now runners on first and second for the Gatemen. Idens at first, Martellini at second. And it's Oliver Dunn in as a pinch hitter for Sahid Valenzuela. And Dunn will try and keep or extend Wareham's lead. Sun for the first time today, covered by some clouds as it dips below the trees. All shade on the field. First pitch to Dunn. Ground ball, right side, scooped up by Bierman. Turns to the second base for a 1. And then Oviedo isn't going to have a chance to turn 2. But the Kettleers get an important second out, and now runners on the corners for Wareham.
Good job by Zach Bierman getting the runner there at second base. Good turn and throw. That's all they had time for, and that's all right. 2 outs now, and the infield can play straight up.
Now it's Austin Shenton, the dangerous 3-hole hitter at third base. The lefty steps in, the best batting average this season on the Cape, 2 for 3 today. 2 singles, an RBI, and a walk. Shenton out of FIU, Florida International University, by way of Bellingham, Washington. How about that? From one corner of the country to another. Runners on the corners. Here's the first pitch from Metters to Shenton. Breaking ball misses high for ball 1.
How about that? FIU down in Miami. That's literally corner to corner. The hypotenuse of a triangle if you were drawing it up there.
We should mention first Shenton went to Bellevue College in Washington, but then transferring from there to the other corner of the country as ball 2 comes in. Maybe he likes the weather better in Florida. I mean, I guess it's better than
better baseball,
the weather
too.
in the Pacific Northwest.
Get to play baseball year-round, too. That's great.
2-0 count for Shenton, who sets in with his tan bat. Third pitch to him, swung on and poked into left. This one down, another base hit for the 3rd time today. Austin Shenton aboard. He drives in a run as Martellini comes around to score, and it's 5-0 Wareham.
Austin Shenton's put on a good day today at the plate. His 3rd single, 2nd run driven in, and some insurance for the Gatemen late.
How about Austin Shenton? 3 for 4 on the day, 2 runs batted in. And Wareham up 5-0. They've got 12 hits, just 1 for Cotuit. 10 singles on the day for Wareham. Also 2 doubles to go with that. They've just been hitting the ball really well. A lot of those similar kinds of hits. Just slaps right into the outfield. And here's the slap into the outfield. A high fly ball this time from Lyle Lockhart Jr. Bo Brundage, the center fielder, there to make the inning-ending catch. But Wareham tacks on another run. It's 5-0 Gatemen heading into the bottom of the 8th here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back at it for the home half of the 8th here at Lowell Park. Kettleers need some offense, and they need it badly. No runs on 1 hit. They trail the Wareham Gatemen 5-0 here in the bottom of the 8th. Sam Brief, Sam Niederman, and Sam, the offense today. Coach Roberts said before the game, you got to swing, swing, swing to get the bats going. And today, they ran into a truck, first of all, with Joey Matulovic, the starter. But the bats just haven't had it today.
Yeah, and the good news for Cotuit is they haven't been swinging and missing terribly much. It's not like Matulovic was striking out guys right and left like, say, Graham Stinson for Orleans. But the contact just hasn't been hard enough to find good hits. A lot of good defensive plays by Wareham as well. You have to tip your cap to them in that regard. But Cotuit with 1 hit mustered up as we enter the bottom of the 8th. That's never, ever going to cut it. And Wareham has been good on offense today with 5 runs on 11 or 12 hits.
Cody Carroll out of Southern Miss back on for the 8th, and he sends in a first pitch ball to Ryan Reynolds. Reynolds 2 plate appearances today, a strikeout and a hit by pitch. One of 4 base runners today for the Kettleers. Here's the 1-0 to Reynolds. Taken on the outside corner, or called strike 1. Cody Carroll out of Southern Miss, the Golden Eagles of Southern Miss, 6'4", 185, a righty. A little darker now at Lowell Park. The sun set behind the trees. Shade all across the field. As strike 2 comes in a little high, Reynolds doesn't like it, but right on the corner for strike 2. Wareham, the best team on the Cape so far this season. 12-8 record. That's number 1. Here's the 1-2 count, high, taken for ball 2. So Wareham leads the division, of course, with a 12-8 record. Right behind them, Hyannis at 11-6-1. Then Bourne and Cotuit right behind Hyannis, and then Falmouth in last with a 7-10-1 record. Wareham also the only team on the Cape without a tie after Cotuit and Falmouth played a 2-2 tie yesterday. Here's the 2-2 pitch, a little flare to the right side of the infield, scooped up by Lockhart, throws back to the pitcher Carroll for a nice out number 1. Some smooth coverage that time from Carroll, and he sits Reynolds down, a pinch hitter coming up for the Kettleers. It's Mike Salvatore coming in relief of Adam Oviedo.
It's interesting. That's a 3rd time, and now back-to-back 1-3 putouts for Wareham. They've had 3 of those plays today. Matulovic did a good job covering, and Lockhart's been splendid at first base defensively today.
Back in the 4th, he did the splits twice in a row. And how about their shortstop, Ryan Kreidler? It was kind of a Derek Jeter kind of play with the ball in the gap. He had to run towards the 3rd base line, make a throw on the run, and then Lockhart did the splits for the 2nd straight time for the inning ending out. Mike Salvatore takes strike 1. Salvatore coming in for Oviedo. He'll play shortstop, batting 9th. Yesterday, Salvatore was 0 for 5 from the dish, but still a nice start for the Florida State Seminole here in Cotuit. He takes strike 2 on the inside corner. 1 out, no one on, bottom 8. Between the Kettleers and the Gatemen. Cody Carroll gets set. Here's the windup, the delivery. Swung on, slapped foul. And the count stays at 0-2. 5 games tonight on the Cape, 5-0 here, Wareham. Over at Red Wilson Field, a barn burner. YD on top of the Brewster Whitecaps, 12-7. At McKeon Park in Hyannis, it's 4-0 Bourne over the Harbor Hawks. At White House Field in Harwich, Chatham has a 2-0 lead over the Mariners. Here's the 2-0, hooks outside, ball 1. And just underway at Eldridge Park, still no score between the Falmouth Commodores and the Orleans Firebirds. 1-2 is the count. Salvatore against Carroll right now. Carroll takes a deep breath, and big number 28 gets in his windup. Here's the delivery outside for ball 2. The Kettleers this season have had most of their success come against the East. 7-4 against the East, just 2-4-1 against the West. And unless something changes, that'll probably drop to 2-5-1. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a high fly in the infield. Left side, playable for Shetton, the 3rd baseman. He shuffles over and makes the catch. That's 2 away. Back to the top of the lineup, Will Robertson coming up. Nothing doing for him, like many of the Kettleers today, 0 for 3. 2 flyouts and a ground out for Will Robertson. What a turnaround this season for Wareham. Last year, 18-25-1. They just snuck into the playoffs ahead of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, as the first pitch to Robertson is in the dirt for a ball. Wareham then came back in the playoffs and upset the 1-seed Falmouth 2-0 in the first round of the West playoffs, then lost 2-0 to Bourne in the semifinal.
Crazy how baseball works.
There's the 1-0. Check swing from Robertson. Appeal. He did go, and it's strike 1.
Just goes to show win and anything can happen, or get in and win. Anything can happen.
1-1 count to Will Robertson. Here comes the pitch from Carroll. It's low for ball 2. How about some famous alums for Wareham? They got some good ones. Dallas Keuchel, George Springer, 2 very important pieces of the Astros World Series win last year. And also Kyle Schwarber out in Chicago. 2-1. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 3.
A lot of good players there that have at one time held the keys to the Cape at the gate.
Also the top 2 draft picks in this year's draft. Casey Mize out of Auburn, Joey Bart out of Georgia Tech, going 1-2 to Detroit and San Francisco, both former gatekeepers. Here's the 3-1 in there, strike 2, and the count runs full on Will Robertson.
Both pieces of that battery got to work under Jerry Weinstein in 2016. Think he had anything to teach them?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think not. Full count, 2 outs. Carroll looking for a perfect inning. He winds up, delivers, just misses outside, ball 4, and Robertson will take first base with 2 outs.
Good job by Robertson. It was about to be a rare game where he did not reach base. It's the first time that he's gone down to first today, but he works that walk against Carroll, and maybe we'll try and spark something here with 2 outs in the 8th, with the heart of the order coming up in Dillard, and then hopefully Brundage and Bierman to follow.
Dillard fresh off the flight from Omaha. He was there the last couple days for the College Home Run Derby. Made it to the second round, first Rebel to do so. First pitch from Carroll is low for ball 1. If you're just joining us, it's been a pretty one-sided affair. Wareham just on top 5-0, but 12 hits for the Gatemen, 1 hit for the Kettleers. Dillard looking to change that and spark some offense here in the 8th. A 1-0 count. Carroll kicks and deals. It skips in the dirt, gets past Martellini, and Will Robertson will stroll into second, now in scoring position. A messy pitch that time. Mike Roberts has always said that games are won in the 8th and 9th. Maybe the Kettleers can spark a comeback. The bats have been very quiet today. Joey Matulovic, the starting pitcher out of Cal, in a dime of a start. Came in with an 0.50 ERA, and that's going to go down from there. 6 innings, no runs, just 1 hit. That's a double from Corey Wood back in the 5th inning. Here in the 8th, it's a 2-0 count with no one out for Thomas Dillard. The Ole Miss Rebel gets in his lefty stance. Here's the pitch. Swung on and cracked into right field. Down, a base hit for Dillard. Here comes Robertson around third. He'll score easily. The throw to second. Not in time. Dillard's safe. An RBI double, and the Kettleers have their first run of the game. It's 5-1.
There you go, Thomas Dillard. Get the Kettleers on the board. One of the better hits of the ball game. The only other hit of the ball game. 2 of them now on the day for the Kettleers, and a good job by Robertson to extend the inning with the walk, and Dillard does his job to bring him in with the extra base hit.
For the first time today, some cheers from the Cotuit faithful. They got something to cheer for. It's 5-1. Cotuit with some life. Thomas Dillard takes his lead at second. There's 2 outs, bottom 8, now 5-1. First pitch to Bo Brundage falls a bit low for ball 1. Brundage today is 0 for 3. And Bo has been swinging a hot bat as of late. Was the walk-off hero last time around here at Loa Park against the Anglers. Here comes the 1-0 to Brundage. Little check swing, and it's fouled off the tip for strike 1. So Thomas Dillard in the Texas cleats, Texas batting gloves. He traded cleats and gloves with Ryan Reynolds before the game and does him some good as he gets an RBI for the Kettleers. A 1-1 count. Pitch from Carroll. Low and inside, ball 2. A deep breath from Bo Brundage out of Portland University. Portland Pilots. The 2-1 count for Cody Carroll. He comes set, now kicks and fires, swung on by Brundage, a fly ball into deep center field, going back Skylar Hunter. He reaches up and makes an overhead catch. For out number 3, the Kettleers strike Thomas Dillard, an RBI double, but it's 5-1 Wareham, and we head to the 9th here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back here in Cotuit for the top of the 9th, it's 5-1 Wareham. And Matthew Gauthier comes on in relief of Deacon Metters, who went 1 inning, 2 hits, a run, a walk, and no strikeouts. Gauthier out of NC State kicks and fires. First pitch over to Pavin Parks is outside for ball 1. Gauthier, a member of the NC State Wolfpack. The 1-0 swing and a miss, strike 1. He's from Candiac, Quebec. Drove all the way from Montreal to the Cape. 4 appearances on the season. Last time out was against Harwich. Here's the 1-1. Hits the outside corner, strike 2. 5 runs, 12 hits for Wareham. 1 run, 2 hits for the Kettleers. That came in the 8th. Thomas Dillard bringing Will Robertson home with the RBI double. There's the 1-2, swung on, ground ball through on the right side. Another base hit for Pavin Parks. Leadoff man aboard for Wareham as they look to tack on to their lead.
By my count, everybody in the Wareham lineup has reached base at some point today. And there has not been a single inning today where Wareham has not had a hit.
Can confirm by my count. These Gatemen can hit. Here's a hit on the left side. Another one for the Gatemen. This time Drew Millis punching one through the left side. And just like that, runners aboard first and second for Wareham. So Drew Millis keeps it going for Wareham. Now 14 hits on the day, 12 of them singles, and a lot of them nothing spectacular, just a little poke into right, a little poke into left, finding the gap and getting aboard. Now it's Ryan Kreidler, the UCLA Bruin, to try and keep the assembly line moving.
They've just strung them together, and that's a strength of an offensive team when you don't need to rely solely on the long runs.
Gauthier gazes in, getting the signal from Eric Jones, who's now in at catcher. He came in to pinch hit for Jacob Goldfarb. The pitch from Gauthier, Kreidler showed bunt, and it's outside for ball one. Gauthier's got a nice bright orange glove.
Did you
saw
steal
Mike
that from
Reese's-
Ryan Reynolds too?
Ryan Reynolds just giving everything away. Saw Mike Reese's son, Nathan, had a bright orange hat. Thomas Dillard with the orange cleats. It's a big orange day here at Lowell Park. There's a bunt right in front of Jones. Picks it up, fires to third for a nice out. How about Eric Jones, who sometimes plays over at third, making a nice play at catcher. So a fielder's choice. Ryan Kreidler reaches. Paven Parks out at third. Drew Millis advances to second. So runners on first and second with one away.
Good job by Eric Jones. He committed to that play all the way. It was going to be close. Threw it in the dirt. Good scoop by Reynolds at third. Just got the runner knowing they had the force. No need to worry about a tag in that situation, and that's why he could stick with it even a little later. Nice job by Eric behind the plate to make that play and get the lead runner.
There's the former Kettleers, Gian Martinelli. First pitch in there, a bit outside for ball one. 76-mile-an-hour breaking ball from Matthew Gauthier. Much darker right now than when we started. It was a bright sunny day, but now the clouds come in, the sun sets. With only one inning to play here at Lowell Park, 5-1 Gatemen. Here's the pitch to Martellini. It's fouled off for strike one.
You know what they say, when the sun goes down, everything gets hotter. But going back to Ryan Reynolds.
Wait. What?
Everything is hotter when the sun goes down.
Oh, right,
The
that song,
song.
that country song.
Yeah.
Kenny, who is that? Kenny
Chesney and Uncle Cracker.
Uncle Cracker. Here's the pitch to Martellini. Swung on and mashed into deep left field. Robertson going back at the wall, and it's a home run for Gian Martellini, the former Cotuit Kettleer. Blasts a 3-1 shot over the Lowell Park left field fence, and this game has been broken open. 8-1 Wareham here in the ninth. Gian Martellini put a really good lick into that one. It was gone right off the bat. Robertson hardly had to move over to the left field fence, and this has turned into a bit of a rout here at Lowell. Here's Skylar Hunter now to face Gauthier in an 8-1 game. First pitch from Gauthier, high for ball one. So Gian Martellini comes back to Lowell Park and strikes to break it open as Gauthier fires second pitch outside for ball two. Skylar Hunter at the plate out of Purdue. He's 1 for 4. Gauthier sends a strike on the inside corner for strike one. Still a barn burner, Red Wilson, 12-8. YD leads the Brewster Whitecaps. Here's the 2-1. Just misses low for ball three. Born on top of Hyannis, another West Division battle at McKeon Park, 4-3 Bravos. 4-2 Harwich over Chatham. Here's the 3-1. It's a high fly ball, tailing foul in left field. Robertson has a play. He makes the catch. That's out number 2. And finally, the Falmouth Commodores up 2-0 early on. Bottom of the second at Eldridge against Orleans. 2 outs here. Top of the ninth, it's 8-1 Wareham.
How about that game in Hyannis? Big game between the Bravos and the Harbor Hawks.
Jeremy Iden sends a rocket back to Gauthier, uses that orange glove to bat it down and send it over to Bierman in time for out number 3. That one could have done some damage, but good job by Gauthier putting the glove in front of it to get out number 3. Wareham strikes again with Gian Martellini's 3-run shot, and it's 8-1 Gatemen heading into the bottom of the ninth here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back here at Lowell Park, an 8-1 win for Wareham over the Kettleers. 8 runs, 15 hits, no errors, and 12 men left on base for Wareham. 1 run on 3 hits, 1 error, and 5 men left on base for the Kettleers. The winning pitcher is Joey Matulovic, who was lights out. He went 6 innings, gave up just 1 hit, had a no-hitter working through 4, no runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Losing pitcher is Griffin McLarty, who went 4 2/3, 8 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. And for the Kettleers, the story of the game, probably the offense, just wasn't there from the start.
No hitting today, no hitting whatsoever, and unfortunately when they got it going just a smidgen, way too late. 1 run on 3 hits is never going to cut it, and unfortunately Cotuit's offense has been their biggest flaw so far in this point in the season. The last 4 games, they've only combined to score 8 runs. That's going to be tough. They're fortunate to have 1 and tied in 2 of those ball games, but 2 defeats now in the last 4 games, and the Kettleers dropping back down to 500, 9-9-1. A tough day against a tough opponent. Wareham really is the real deal. They've got a lineup that can hit. Everybody in the lineup got a hit today. They were running wild on the base pass. 15 hits for the Gatemen. They're legitimate, and they look fit to try and win the Western Division title in the regular season, and it's going to be a tough matchup no matter who gets them, and whether it be YD, who's looking really good in the East. So a tough day for the Kettleers today. Hopefully the Bats can find a way to get it going. A couple of players are slumping right now, and hopefully they come around, and that'll definitely be a big pick-me-up once it comes up.
Wareham appears to be the best in the West and also certainly the class of the Cape as well. They improved to a 13-8 record on the season, good for first place across the Cape League. Cotuit, as Sam said, drops down to 9-9-1 right now, 4th place in the West. Both teams get the day off for the 4th of July tomorrow. On Thursday, Wareham resumes play at Bourne, 6 o'clock first pitch, and the Kettleers will be right here at Lowell Park, a 5 o'clock first pitch against the Falmouth Commodores. You can listen right here on Mixlr.com/Cotuit Broadcasting. You can also listen on our YouTube stream. Just search Cotuit Kettleers. You'll find it there. And if you're a Cape Cod resident Comcast subscriber, go to Channel 99, and you can watch us then. Any final thoughts as we head off to the 4th?
Hey, put it behind you. Everybody have a happy 4th of July. Be safe. Have a good time out there. Going to be a great holiday on the Cape tomorrow. Can't wait for the hitting contest here at Lowell Park, the family fun day and the parade and all the like. It's going to be a great day. Happy birthday to the United States of America. Thank you to all those who have served, veterans, and those who presently serve right now. And as always, go Kettleers. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
Yeah, come to the park tomorrow. You'll see both of us. We'll be emceeing the hitting contest.
Yeah.
Should be a fun time.
That'll
so
be fun.
If you want to come say hi in person, we'll be right there. And, of course, hope to see you at the Cotuit 4th of July parade, which will terminate right here at Lowell Park. As Sam said, have a happy and safe 4th of July. Light up the barbecue, throw some patties on the grill, throw some dogs on the grill. Not dogs, hot dogs, I should specify. Have a happy and healthy 4th of July. From all of us here at the Cotuit Kettleers, my broadcast partner Sam Niederman, our entire broadcast team, Bailey Houston, Mason Hordisky, Max Coran, and Martha Johnson, I'm Sam Brief, signing off. Again, the final score from Lowell Park, Wareham 8, Cotuit 1. Enjoy your 4th of July, and happy birthday, America.